Round one. Fight!
Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to Tier Ranker Fight, episode number 24. We're going to be talking about the best 90s comedies, just giving them a little ranking, having a debate, just like always. So, yeah, I'm going to go around the horn, just introduce my cast for tonight. We'll start with my co-host, Austin Pez Howell. How you doing?
What's up, partner? How's it going? We got a fun show tonight. We got another loaded show thanks to you. You have reached out and got some amazing guests for this one that we'll be introducing here in a second. But I can assure the audience of one thing. There will be no Pauly Shore movies discussed tonight. I'm sorry if that disappoints anyone.
I know. Disappoints me a little. But, and you know, from Take Three Productions and Rankum, we have Malcolm. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Just excited to talk about 90s comedies and, yeah, a bunch of my favorite people here as well.
All right, awesome. And then we have on the panel, we have Kate Mulligan. How's it going?
Hello, how are you? Thanks for having me. Sorry it took me 4 months to get back to you.
That's all right. Like, people have busy lives, so like we just keep it casual. We're just happy if anyone ever responds to it. So if they do, we're happy. It's all good, but we also have joining us PG Peggy Gubbins. How's it going?
It's going all right. Was a little bit under the weather this morning because I had vaccine shot number 2 yesterday, but I am on the bed now. I feel all right. I am ready to do this.
I can't believe
you don't pass out during the fights. Please don't. Just stay with us.
Yeah, right. Yep. For any reason, if you need to like cut out early, if you start feeling weird, go for it.
No. I'm good right now.
All right, cool. And then we also have joining us Rachel Silvestrini. How's it going?
Well, hello, everyone.
Oh, wow.
I love this nice little ladies' den reunion. We're almost complete. We're just missing 2 of the ladies and the full takeover.
Right? You got to get the rest of them next time.
3 of the ladies, since Lacey's carrying a baby. There we go.
That's true.
Little girl.
That's true. Well, I will say, Peggy, the second shot didn't knock me out because everybody's talking about how bad the second shot was. I got my second shot on last Monday, and it didn't affect me at all. The first one, I couldn't stay awake for more than 6 hours, and I had narcolepsy.
No, I've been napping off and on.
Wow.
Oh, no.
Did you have COVID, Rachel?
No.
Because I've heard if people have had COVID, the first one can be worse for them.
Oh, well,
Maybe you did. Maybe you had sneak COVID.
None of that on my body was just
everyone
this
different.
is a great excuse for you to actually get some sleep. Like, let's just power down.
Yep. But yeah, so we'll just jump into it. We got some rules for the show to kind of keep things a little organized. They're just kind of some loose little rules that we have. I'll throw them up here. But the rules are, let's have a good, clean fight. Please do not talk or shout over each other. Please do be respectful of others' opinions. Each person will take turns to select a movie for ranking. The person who selected the movie will have 1 minute to explain which tier they think that it should go in and why. All other participants will then each have 1 minute to say why they either agree or disagree and may suggest a new ranking. The host, being me, will decide on a ranking that averages out everyone's opinion and ask if the proposed ranking is acceptable. And at that point, we can have a little bit of a debate, like where the final ranking should go. So yeah, there's definitely some room for a little like like trash talking, a little debate, a little like I love this movie, I hate this movie, that kind of thing.
This is going to be a tough show because we've done shows with other genres and we haven't really tackled a lot of comedies yet, which is going to be tough because comedy is so subjective, almost more than other genres. So this is going to be tough to come up with a definitive list here. I mean, this could be a little contentious by the time we get.
Can I also ask what everyone's age is? I want to know, or what age you were in the 90s.
Right. Sure.
Because this also, the 90s is like I'm in my teens. I'm in like my okay.
Mm-hmm.
I was in my early teens.
Okay.
Same, yeah.
Oh yeah, I guess early teens for me too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
I was born in
96,
86, so I was a 90s kid essentially.
Okay.
So yes.
You were a 90s
I
kid.
was born in 85.
But I did see some of these first
84.
run, as long as they were PG-13 or less, I could see them. Yes.
Okay, I'm 82, so we're 82. Peggy, what's your birth year?
Do I have to say?
No.
Judgment-free zone. Come on.
Okay, Peggy,
Peggy, she's our age.
80. Okay, my age. Okay, perfect.
Mhm.
Great.
Yeah.
So you were a teenager in the 90s too.
Oh yeah. Yep.
So you graduated
Okay.
from junior high in 94 and high school in 98.
I graduated high school the year that Jess Schloth was born. So
Oh,
Glad she's not here.
Wow.
Honestly, never been happier.
All of the
No,
jokes
that's a great point, Kate. Yeah, I mean, how old you were or what generation you were kind of really depends on maybe the movies that clicked with you. So this could be, again, get very interesting depending on everybody's perspective. So this will be, once we start getting into the specific movies, we could have some very differing opinions on certain ones over others. So we'll see what happens.
And before we start, can I just say, Jordan, I really like your shirt.
yes.
It was
Yes.
really good on you.
Well, I had to pander to the den a little bit because Kate for sure is my favorite manager this year, absolutely. And I mean the den is at least top 2, I will say, at least. Like
Wow.
you guys
Okay.
are killing it.
No, I'll take top 2. Who was your favorite manager last year?
Last year was Kaiser, but I feel like Kaiser kind of got the like dream team this year, so it's like hard to really go like root
I know
for
it's
him
hard
like,
to root.
as
It's
much.
hard to root for,
It's hard to root for the Yankees. When they
Exactly.
can buy
Right,
their
yeah.
own, like,
Mhm.
you know.
Exactly. Like you guys got a solid team, but you got to compete with the Yankees kind of thing. So it's kind
Yes,
of like that.
yeah.
So.
Yeah, but we're vloggers, so who cares?
Yeah, right.
We're scrappers.
But it also makes for a better story if the underdogs take the year, though. So it makes for a better
Yes.
story overall.
Yep.
I like the word when.
When?
When? Yep.
When they
Oh,
take
yeah, when it
A
does.
long
Oh, of
season,
course.
boys and girls. We're just
Mhm.
getting started.
Mhm.
We're a third of the way through.
And you guys by far have my favorite logo. Like this shirt looks like amazing.
It's fire.
So is it? Yeah. So I had to get
Love
that
it.
one, but yeah. So I'm just pulling up the tier ranker chart here. So that should be popping up here in just a second. All right, here we go. So I'm gonna do a quick adjustment on my screen. I got to do split screen, but let's see. All right. So like basically you can see all the different tiers here, and then you just scroll down and there's a few like if we have any that nobody's seen, or if you think possibly one of them might actually not be a comedy, you can argue for that. And then down here you have all the different movies. If you have any questions, you can ask me. I put all the movies in the private chat, so if you have any questions on what's on the list, you can go there and you can see them all. So,
Sure.
but yeah,
I'm just really curious, since we're all about the same age, has anybody not seen any of the movies on this list?
There's a couple.
I filled in 2 of my gaps over the weekend. I only had 2, but luckily, me and Jordan were in the same boat. We're like,
I only had 2.
it's funny. Most of us, we didn't have to do a ton of research filling in those gaps for this one more than any of the other ones that we had to do. I've had to do research for other ones just to fill in some gaps. So I only had to fill in 2. So I know Jordan was the same. He only had to fill in maybe 1 or 2, or even just do rewatches that we hadn't seen in 20 years.
I hadn't even
these,
heard
you know?
of Heavyweights.
Oh,
I
my
haven't seen that one
goodness.
either.
That's going to be interesting.
I've been yelled at.
Because that's the shirt
I'm
I'm rocking tonight is the heavyweight shirt. Perkins power.
Hey, look at you.
Yeah,
You got the Tony Perkins shirt. Nice.
that's right. That's right.
right.
Is that
Ben
a
Stiller for the win.
stab at Ben? Wondering.
Maybe. I'm not gonna say. But
Well,
yeah,
we're gonna go and start, Jordan allows the bottom person to go first on the list of us. So Rachel, you get to kick this off and pick a movie. What do you want to talk about?
I never get to go first. This is exciting.
Go first tonight. Go first.
This should shock absolutely no one that I'm picking Mallrats.
That's so weird.
I know, right? It's so outside of my range. That goes all the way up to S for me.
All right.
It is endlessly quotable. It is so funny. It has such a great cast. It also has the best, and I will fight to the death for this. It has the best Stan Lee cameo of all time. And it also comes back as a nod in Captain Marvel when he's sitting on the bus reading the Mallrats script. Like, it is like the perfect movie. It is so funny. It's so great. It is obnoxiously weird and funny. And like, who thinks to have a 3-nippled psychic at a dirt mall? Like, Kevin Smith is a genius. It's funny for everyone above a certain age, obviously. And like I said, it has just such a great cast. And I yield my time because I feel like I don't need to keep talking about it, because I will just keep talking about it.
You dumb bastard. That's not a schooner, it's a sailboat.
Schooner is a sailboat. Stupid head.
I would
What do you think?
at minimum put it at a B level. I'm not so sure S is where it belongs, because you said there's only 10 that get to be in that top tier upper echelon.
Maybe a little picky.
I mean, I'd be okay with putting it at A.
May have to be a little critical with our picks here. Yes.
Yeah, I'm not quite. I mean, don't get me. I love Mallrats, Rachel. You know this. I love Mallrats.
You just proved my point and quoted the movie instantly to me.
It's very.
There are a lot of titles on this list that are.
A lot of these are quotable movies.
True.
I just think we need to be selective on what goes up on that S tier. So I'll vote for A for Mallrats. How about that?
I'm with Peggy. I also give it an A. I feel like it definitely has its place in the 90s echelon, but I don't know. It's not my top 10. It's not one of my S's. So if for no other reason, I feel like, Rachel, you are just blinded by your undying love. And I think that it would be hard for you. It would be like somebody being like trying to convince me that Michael Jordan's not the greatest basketball player ever. I'm like, it's just where I'm from.
Right.
So I respect your S, but I really respect Peggy's A.
Yeah, for sure.
Favorites.
Malcolm, what do you think? Mallrats.
Yeah, I mean, I do love Mallrats. I kind of like Clerks a little bit more, but Clerks isn't in the group. But I'm also inclined to go A.
Yeah, sounds about like the consensus. Austin, what do you think?
Yeah, I go with an A on this one. I really like Mallrats. It's actually one of the ones that's probably aged the best out of a lot of Kevin Smith's 90s movies, as far as dealing with like the comic book culture and things like that. It's aged very, very well when you go back to it, but it's not one of the ones I personally go back to a lot. Clerks 2 is kind of like my jam, the one I kind of go back to more than any of the other ones, and then I even go back to Dogma a lot just because I think there's a lot going on in that movie. But Mallrats is good. Don't get me wrong, and I agree with you about the Stan Lee thing. His little scene talking to Jason Lee is phenomenal. Really good cast. Ben Affleck running around in there, like, it's a lot of fun. But for me, it's A level. It's very, very good. But I can't quite eke it into that S level. So A for me.
Rachel's ready to burn the town down.
No, actually, this is my plan all along. It's one of those, like, I know you all know my love for him runs marrow deep. So, like, for me, it's an S. But as long as nobody puts it below a B, we can still be friends.
Okay.
You know,
I mean, nobody's trashing it so far. We're all giving it very high marks. You know,
that's because you're all scared of me.
Well, that's very true as well. But you know,
I'm not scared of you.
I know you love me.
Tell him, Steve Dave, like, I'm right there with you. Like I think that like it probably, for me, like, I would be okay if it ended up on the S tier. I'm going to say A for now, just because of the sheer competition and different movies we have on the list. But for Mallrats, I was a little late to the party when I first saw it. I probably watched it about probably about 10 years ago. But once I finally saw it, though, like, like I had that thing on repeat. Like I would always watch it. Like I adore this movie. So I mean, I'm gonna say a high A for now, and I kind of feel like with the consensus, it'll be at the A tier for now. But it has potential to move up possibly later. We'll see.
I will say this: it is one of the movies that makes me laugh the hardest of Kevin Smith's career, but nothing touches the Comic-Con scene in Chasing Amy, and that movie is not a good movie, but that one scene is the funniest thing I think I've ever watched. I pause it because I'm laughing so hard I cry every single time.
Yep.
What's in
Rachel? That kid is still on the escalator.
You hear that in your head every time you get on an escalator.
Every time I see a kid on an escalator,
you check your shoelaces to make sure they're not untied. You make sure that your jeans aren't like dragging on the ground. Like, this movie saved lives. I'm convinced.
Well, Peggy, you're up next. So,
all right. So,
what do you got?
I feel like we can't go with all of like the ones that we think are going to be S tier straight out the gate. We got to space them out a little bit. So, if you'll indulge me for a second, this is one I think that should belong in the B level. So, indulge me with this quote for just a second. Imagine you're a deer. You're prancing along, you get thirsty, you spot a little brook, you put your little deer lips down to the cool, clear water. Bam! A fucking bullet rips off part of your head, and your brains are laying on the ground in little bloody pieces. Now I ask you, would you give a shit what kind of pants the son of a bitch who shot you was wearing? I am going to nominate my cousin Vinny, and I'm going to nominate it for the B level tier. And you guys can elevate or de-escalate it. Very bottom left.
Bottom left.
You said, right? You said B level?
Yes. This is my favorite Joe Pesci movie of all time. And Marissa Tomei knocks the role of Mona Lisa Vito out of the park. Her Oscar was well deserved. And this one isn't like front to back comedy, but there's so many comedic moments in it that it definitely belongs on this list. And I'm gonna put it at a B for now. And let's see what you guys think.
Sounds good. Kate?
I think B's a little low for it. Okay. And I'll tell you why I think B's low. I think that adults in the 90s, this was like, as a kid, I didn't like, as a teen, this wasn't like, I didn't really, but I remember my parents and their friends like thinking this was the B. So I'm not going to go S, but I'm going to go A on this one. Everyone gets an A for me.
All right. There's a lot of good movies on this list, to be fair. So this is going to be tricky.
Yeah. I just feel like I think adults of the 90s would have ranked that, would be like, oh, you can't, absolutely, my cousin Vinny's the greatest. Whereas like my parents hated Big Lebowski. So like, and Big Lebowski for me, anyway, so I say high B plus or A on this one.
That's fine. I'm down with that.
All right. Malcolm, what do you think?
I'm going to take my time. I'm going to pick the right words. But I think I need to go to try to elevate this high. I think this is an S level movie because I just saw it for the first time this year and thoroughly loved it. And this is just one that I didn't know what to expect because I've heard so much about it from Peggy and from a lot of people in the community. And I saw it. It was such a great movie. I enjoyed it. I think it belongs at S.
All right, we got to vote for S.
I just want to hear him say S again.
Yeah, right.
S. Yes. Put on my mascara.
You think
I'm gonna go. I go like an A minus on this one. I think it deserves to be in the A tier, maybe on sort of the lower end of the A tier. I think it's really good. It's one of those movies I've probably only gone back to watch maybe 3 or 4 times, and recently saw it in a hotel room when I was on the road and stuck around and was like, wow, yeah, this movie's like really good. But I'm not laughing out loud a lot, but it's really smartly written, and there's some great characters. Joe Pesci's amazing. Yeah, Marissa Tomei's great. What's his name? Herman Munster. He's awesome as the judge. He's so great. And I'm a big fan of Lane Smith, who plays the prosecutor from Mighty Ducks. So, I love the cast, and everything's good. And it's a really good legal movie as much as a comedy. But it's not one I go back to a lot. So it's very good quality. But I can't put it in the S because it's not one I revisit like over and over and over again, like some of the other movies on this list. So I go like in a low A, like an A-.
Yes, for me, I actually. So this is one of the two movies I had not seen, but I watched it for the first time this week, and so I'm like really fresh off of it, and I will say that I really liked it. Like I don't know if I go so far to say that I loved it. Like I think B is about perfect for me. I think that I give it a solid B. I love Joe Pesci. I think he can do no wrong. He's just like amazing in everything that he's in, and then I think that this might be. Marissa Tomei's best movies, like she's amazing in this, and then also I didn't even know that Ralph Macchio was in it, so like that was a surprise when I started watching. Like, oh, all right, we got Ralph Macchio. So yeah, when the story's great, like everything, like especially that quote you had, Peggy, like that is like perfect. That's probably one of my favorite quotes in the whole movie. Mm-hmm. And like just the dynamic between Joe Pesci and Marissa Tomei, how they like to argue all the time, and you think that like sometimes they're fighting, sometimes they're just arguing for the sake of arguing because they love to argue. That like they're just that type of people. So I thought that was fun. So yeah,
I know that ball's accurate.
Yep.
They're not fighting. They're just Italian. I know it gets confusing. You speak very loudly and passionately, and people get like a little scared. But no, this movie was my childhood. This was on in my house all the time. I love this movie so much. It's also what I like going back and watching it now in my 30s. I realize how fucking feminist it is. Like, there's this female who knows everything about something in a very man's-oriented world who literally changes the lives of these young boys. It is so smartly written. It's so funny. Just everybody's relationship with each other is just so perfectly executed. I definitely think it's, like, for me, it's one of those, like, it's an A to S, but I definitely wouldn't put it B. I would definitely move it up to A.
Okay.
That's fine.
I think the consensus is it gets bumped up into A because we had an S and a couple of B's and a couple of A's. So
I didn't want to overshoot.
Okay.
Girl, overshoot.
You can overshoot. You can shoot for the moon and we see what happens, you know?
They're
like
coming.
you do what
Those
you
picks are coming. There's ones on here I will fight for. Trust me.
Oh yeah. Well, we'll throw it to Kate. You're up.
Yes.
So,
this is gonna be real quick. The Nutty Professor. D. This movie, it didn't do it for me then. I love Eddie Murphy. This was not, I don't need to, it's like, I know he has range, but I know that from watching him in Dreamgirls. I don't need to see him do range and like, I'm going to do it. I don't love fat stuff. No, D, nope.
Yeah.
Not my jam.
Well, fair enough. Malcolm, what do you think?
Yeah, so I mean, I do enjoy Nutty Professor but it's been ages since I have actually seen it. But I'm fine with it being D because I think that Nutty Professor 2 is better.
Yeah. Sounds about right. What do you think, Austin?
I'm a little contentious. I like the Nutty Professor. I would put it in like a B tier. I don't go like S or A with it, but I think it's legitimately one of Eddie's better movies in the 90s. I went back and looked at actually in prep for the show his 90s IMDb, and like it's really bad. And this one sticks out as actually one of the better quality ones because you got like Metro and Boomerang and Vampire in Brooklyn, and like there's some real weird stuff in there. And like you get this one, which I know we went more mainstream for, but I like the fact that he's playing all these different roles and doing it in a better way before like Norbit, you know, actually trying to put some effort into it. And the fact that I think his Buddy Love character is like so lovably psychotic that I kind of enjoy it. and just how manic he is, like how much energy he has. And I think the character of Sherman Klump is like genuinely kind of a sweet character, and I enjoy his arc of like trying to accept who he is and kind of wants to change and kind of has to realize that he got to do it on his own. I like it. I give it like a B. I enjoy Nutty Professor.
All right. Well, Well, for me, so I hadn't seen this movie since the 90s. I went and saw it with one of my best friends who he wanted to see it at the time. I was never really that excited even when it came out, but my friend who's since passed away, so I have a little bit of nostalgia seeing that with him. Yeah, but I mean, still, I tried to give it a rewatch this week, and I couldn't even get through it. Like I wouldn't even give it an F. Like I did not like this movie. Way too many fart jokes. They're at the like dinner table just farting it up. And then the thing that just got me, the moment where I actually switched it off is when he's having some kind of like daydream where he's this like big, huge, giant guy walking through the city, and then he farts and like creates some kind of explosion. It's like this fart that blows up the whole city. I'm just like, no, this is not my type of humor. Not for me. This is like way too lowbrow. I'm just like, no. So like I'll give it an F. Like I couldn't even finish it. I just turned it off. I'm like, no, not for me. So, but Rachel, what do you think?
So a few things with this movie. If I want to watch The Nutty Professor, I'm gonna watch Jerry Lewis.
Yeah,
that's it. That is the best version of this. Secondly, I don't really find this a comedy too much because it just seems like the Buddy Love character just gets like all of his sins just kind of get washed under the rug of like, oh, but this guy's not real. But yeah, he's really interacting with actual females, and like, ladies, we all know Buddy Loves. Like that's just how it is. Like guys who don't understand, no, guys are super aggressive. And it's like, it's just a whole fat phobia, like poking fun at it. And I don't find it funny. The best thing we got out of this version of The Nutty Professor is Janet Jackson in the second one.
Yep.
So I would even go down to like not a comedy for this one.
Yeah, maybe so. But Peggy, what do you think?
For now, I think this is accurately ranked. It may be moved down later as more movies get named. Now, my love for Eddie Murphy knows no bounds. I can quote Raw and Delirious from front to back. Coming to America is one of my favorite rom-coms.
Yes, Peggy.
But this one, I think the only thing I really remember from this is the Hercules. I mean, it's just another excuse for Eddie to do all the costume stuff. I don't know why he loves spending so many hours in the makeup chair, but apparently he does. But yeah, I think D is where we put this now. If not, move it down to F. If we need space for other ones that don't get ranked as high.
Yeah. Well, so we got a couple of Fs. We got a D. We got a B. So I think probably D is where it's probably going to end up. That sounds about the consensus. Unless anyone has any objections, I'll leave it there.
I mean, you know, I was the only one to give a positive answer, but it is what it is. I'm outvoted, so it's cool. It is what it is.
I just want to say, not that this matters, but I'm the first one that elected one that stayed at the rank I elected it at. Are there any extra points for that?
I mean, I knew mine was going to be brought down to an A. It's an F in my heart.
You some brownie points.
Very much kidding.
Well, we'll throw it over to Malcolm. What do you got?
So going from one comedy where the main star plays multiple different people to another one, I'm going for Austin Powers, The Spy Who Shagged Me. I love the Austin Powers franchise, and I think all the multiple characters that Mike Myers did was much better than what Eddie Murphy did in Nutty Professor. I'm not going to go as far as S, but I'm probably going to go B for now.
All right, B. All right. And Austin, what do you think?
I'm conflicted on this one because it's like I go back to the first one more because I like the story of him just being kind of lost in time out of the first one as opposed to the second one. But then again, the second one has like 10 times more jokes per minute, and most of them pretty much hit. I think they're pretty solid. I do think he goes a little overboard with the characters, a little too much. Like it's kind of throwing everything against the wall and just kind of seeing what'll stick. And again, I'm just more of a stickler for like the simplicity of the first one a little bit more than the second one, which gets overblown. But I think B is pretty fair, and like I would probably agree with a B ranking for Spy Who Shagged Me.
Well, for me, 2 words: mini me. So like mini me is the reason why I love this one over the second one, and just because all the jokes just kind of hit a little more for me, and yeah, like I just prefer this one over the first Austin Powers. And yeah, I mean, it's been quite a while since I've seen it, but I mean, I do have a lot of fun memories of it. But I mean, compared to what else we have on the list, though, I think B is about right. So I would give it a solid B. So, but What do you think, Rachel?
Yeah, I'm good with the B. It does just bring me straight back to high school. That first year at cheer camp and dancing to this music. It was so iconic and so perfect and lovely. Also, just the story is like really sweet. You know, like he has this great character arc of like being this guy about free love and then realizing the time he's in and like actually adjusting. Plus, the movie's just like it's Mike Myers at his what I think close to his best. And it's really I adore this movie. Yeah, B's a perfect spot for it.
All right, Peggy.
Okay. There are other Mike Myers movies that I return to, and we watched. This is not amongst them. I do enjoy the Austin Powers ones, but it's not one I go back and let me watch this one again, because I don't know. It just at some point I think around Goldmember it just kind of got old for me. So I'm okay with B. I'd rather put it at a C, but if everyone's going B, I'm okay with that.
Yeah. All right, fair enough. Kate, what do you think?
Which one is the one with him parallel parking?
In the hallway? Turning around in the tunnel?
Turning around. Sorry.
Yeah, that's the first one.
International Man of Mystery.
That's the first one. Okay, then this is. I'm fine with this at a B. If the one where he's turned around in the hallway, I think about that every time I'm trying to park a car. So B is perfect for me on this one. I mean, Mini-Me is great. Rest in peace, Vern Troyer. But and there's definitely like B. Listen, if my kid takes home a B, I'm still happy. Still, B's great. You're above average, you know. So I say it stays at B.
Well, I think B is where it's going to stay. So
Fair enough.
yeah, it sounds like the consensus. So we'll throw it to Austin. What do you got?
Well, I am going to shoot for the top of the mountain, and I'm going to talk about the one I'm representing on my shirt, and let's go heavyweights. I have to try to shoot for this on heavyweights. So I personally think that we need to have at least one brilliant like children's movie on the list, and this one rises above because it was literally produced and written by Judd Apatow at the time in 1995. It stars like all these kids that we knew from like Mighty Ducks and everything, but you also have Paul Feig is like a character in the movie. Ben Stiller he's giving a performance that's it's almost too good to be in a kids movie. Like it's so insane of a performance as Tony Perkis, and it's almost the same character he would go on to play in Dodgeball, but like I think even more brilliant in this movie. And some people have even done fan theories about like his character just changed his appearance and then went into the Dodgeball universe, because he's still the same character. But like he is so crazy taking over this camp. I may be a little biased because I live 5 miles away from where they filmed this movie at that camp, and I've been there and shot some video. But I just think it holds up so much better than most of the kids movies that came out of that era. Just the writing is sharp and it's witty, and the jokes hold up, and the kid actors are legitimately very good in the movie, and you feel for them and you're with them. And if you had any kind of childhood spent in any sort of summer camp, you just go back to this movie over and over and over again. I think it absolutely deserves to be in the top 10. I go for heavyweights.
Yeah, so this one's tough for me because I grew up watching heavyweights, and I think when I first saw it as a kid, I didn't really fully appreciate it because when I first saw it, like I didn't even really know who Ben Stiller was, and then when I got a little older, I rewatched it. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's Ben Stiller, and he's freaking amazing, freaking brilliant. Like this might be almost my favorite role he's ever done. Like it is just so good, so funny, so many memorable quotes, just like the way that he just pushes these kids to the absolute limit, and it's just so good. And like he makes the whole entire movie for me. But I also love seeing these kids from the Mighty Ducks pop up. That was a big part of my childhood. So I mean, but it's tough for me because I could give it like a high A, maybe even a low S. So I mean, I'll say S just for now because it was such a different type of movie than most of the other movies on the list. So yeah, why not? I'll go S. So
yeah.
But Rachel, what do you think?
I remember watching this a few times growing up and being like, yeah, it's really funny, and I laughed. But then like I think I appreciated it even more, like you said, when Dodgeball came out, because this is White Goodman. Like this is the White Goodman origin story, 100%. And so like I will make this a double feature of heavyweights and then Dodgeball.
It absolutely works.
right? It's fantastic. But I don't know if I'd put it at S, just because like I feel like this really was like made like in the 90s. If you guys didn't live through it, quick reference. The 90s were very much movies were made for little boys and little girls growing up in the 90s, and this was very much like a little boy film. And so it didn't really resonate with me. Like, it's funny. I would maybe give it like a high B, low A. But it's great. Right. Watch it if you haven't seen it.
Yeah, definitely, Peggy.
Much to the dismay of many of my friends in the Schmodown community, I have not seen Heavyweights before. So I'm going to abstain from ranking this one. I have not seen.
Ben Bateman had a 5-pointer based on Heavyweights, and I had to hold my tongue in the Atlanta crowd, like just yelling out the answer. Because he actually had a 5-pointer about the side counselor named Lars, like what his name was, and like
I remember
and like we couldn't say anything, and he missed it. And it was disappointing.
He also missed.
I like Peggy, have not seen the movie. I also had never heard of it. So my vote, I don't really care. If you guys want to give it S, that's fine. But I feel like the fact that 2 of us never saw it automatically means it can't be an S. That's my personal opinion. If you want to put it A, that's fine. But like, I never even heard of it. So that's just my pitch for not S.
Right. All right. Well, Malcolm, what do you think?
Like I hadn't heard it for the longest time until I got Disney Plus, and I found it on there. I watched it. It's fine. I mean, and maybe if I watched it back in the 90s as a kid, I would appreciate it more. But at the age I watched it, I'm probably gonna have to give it put it in C.
All right, fair enough. So we got a couple S's, we got an A and a C. So I mean, maybe it goes like high B, low A. I mean,
low A, I guess. Yeah, that's fair.
You do it.
How heartbroken are you right now, Austin?
Oh no, it's okay. No, and that's the thing. That's the thing. When you're nominating a movie that like you may have grown up with, it's tricky because if you didn't grow up with this movie or maybe discovered it later, you might not either have that connection or you might, like you said, y'all may not have even seen it or even heard of it. So it's one of those things. But I would actually implore you, and that's okay if I bring attention to it here. Yeah. Go check it out on Disney Plus because, like I said, it's written by Judd Apatow. It's a lot smarter. And better, like the dialogue is amazing. Like Ben Stiller's great. It's better than you think it would be based on the premise. I'll just say
Who
that.
Does Leslie
I
Mann
think you should give it a look.
it?
No, she's actually not in it, believe it or not, because Judd isn't in it either. But there's a lot of character people you see in other movies around that time kind of pop up in the side cast that you'll recognize.
No, I'll absolutely
so
check
it's
it
a
out.
lot of fun. Yeah,
great.
For sure. Mm-hmm. And also too, I just want to point out that actually. I appreciate the movie better when I was older versus when I was a kid. So like I like it more now.
Yeah, I appreciated the jokes and the dialogue. Like I didn't get a lot of the little references and the jokes, like how smart it was until I saw it later. So like I've appreciated it more. I've gone back to it. But
it's like going back and watching all those Disney animated movies and laughing at all the jokes that
catch everything. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
What's your guys' policy with people eating dinner if they promise to mute?
You are a busy mama.
If you want to eat it, no, like we keep it totally casual. I've had breakfast on here, like we've done early shows.
Okay, great.
And stuff.
We had the barbarian. Hey, we had the barbarian doing the live stream from a hot tub. So you know what? Like anything goes. So that's my go-to example of like how casual the show is. He was literally leaning over the side of the hot tub with his phone, like no shirt on, like talking about comic book movies. So
I mean, I can't speak for Malcolm, but I can promise that the Den are not going topless tonight. Just sorry to break everyone's hearts, but I don't think it's going to happen.
Disappoint.
I'm going to keep my headphones in. I'm just going to turn off the camera while I yell for my dinner.
Okay.
Yeah. Fine. No problem.
No, I'm going to have to intermittently mute myself because I've got dogs that try to bark at any noises in the hallway. So.
It's all right, well, host Jordan is up. So what do you got, Jordan? Mr. Host, what do you got for your first one?
Don't take
So I gotta go with Dumb and Dumber. Like this is hands down like one of the funniest movies I've ever seen in my life. I've probably seen it like almost 100 times. I've seen it so many times. This is a movie that I just have all the time in the background at at Helmet. It's just on all the time, and I can probably quote the entire thing from start to finish. Like it's just so good. Just like it's one of the best road trip movies. And it's also it has one of the best vehicles in any movie. Like it's just like it has just like a weird kind of quirky like love story, kind of non-love story sort of. And so yeah, like I just think that it's great. And there's so many quotes in the movie that I just use in like everyday conversation. Like I'll be like, oh, you forgot to pay the gas bill. Do you realize what you've done? Like all this like
Petey didn't even have a head.
Yeah, right. Yeah, pretty bird.
Harry,
bird.
I took care of it.
Yeah, I took care of it. Come on. So yeah, I think it's an absolute S tier.
No, she was a girl.
yeah. Right. We're like big gulps, huh? Well, see you later. Yep. Yeah. But it's infinitely quotable, and so like I think that's an absolute S tier. Like it's hard to like go against any comedy that is Jeff or Jim Carrey in it, and then you add Jeff Daniels to the mix, and it's like who knows, he could be that hilarious at the time, and yeah, so like
a respected Shakespearean actor that just decided to do like slapstick comedy.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
for real. So yeah, I say S tier, but
I think he played Chamberlain too in the Gettysburg movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I mean,
yeah, he's in Gettysburg, Guns and Generals. Yeah, I mean, he just did he was coming off like Purple Rose of Cairo, and like I saw all these like dramas, and then he's just in this ridiculous movie with Jim Carrey. Yeah, he's got range, man.
So, Rachel, what do you think?
Rachel.
If I had $1 for how many times I quoted this movie in my life, I would not be talking to you because I would be on my own private island surrounded by beautiful male models, fanning me with palm fronds and my personal trainer and my, 1,000 dogs. This movie is amazing and so it encapsulate. I think it's one of like when people think 90s comedies, like this is one of the first ones that pops into their head. It is quoted by everyone of all ages. And I just, it's 100% top 10 of the decade. Yes, it belongs at us.
Yep. Peggy, what do you think?
Fell off the jetway again.
Yep.
You're
one pathetic loser.
Yeah, I absolutely think this one belongs in S tier. It's like I'm not a huge fan of like poop humor. But the scene with Jeff Daniels when he's been given the laxatives at Mary's house, I remember just dying laughing at that part. And like she's like, Aspen, California, beautiful. Just tiny little jokes here and there. They are spread throughout this movie. I am great with keeping this one at S tier. Dumb and Dumber is hilarious.
My friend actually has a screenshot of him like literally losing his shit. From that scene, framed in her bathroom above the toilet. It's like my favorite thing ever.
That's awesome.
He has some great poop faces in that scene, that's for sure.
This is an S, and I'm about to prove it. Mock.
Yeah.
Bird.
Yeah. It's an S.
Yeah.
And honestly, if you told me I could only have one Jim Carrey 90s movie in the S tier, this is still the one I pick.
Yep.
So, no question. I feel like it's the most quotable. It is just like it had no business. It is dumb and it is dumber. I mean, there's no two. Samsonite, like it's a movie that I remember. I've probably seen it only a couple of times. I can tell you so many details about it because it made such a huge impact. S, 100% an S.
Now, who's gonna make the most annoying sound in the world now? 1, 2, 3. Let's all do it. but Malcolm, what do you think?
Yeah, so if I could pick one Jim Carrey for S tier only, this is probably not the one I'll go for, but this totally belongs in S tier regardless. So I'm happy with this being an S, and yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Austin?
Yeah, I figured when we were putting together this list that Dumb and Dumber would be one of the shoe-ins, I guess, that would definitely make the S tier, like to where, you know, it would be a pretty quick unanimous. And just to chime in, I think one of my favorite lines is when they're in the hot tub and he's talking about his ex, and he's like, my ex was always going on and on about how I don't listen to her. I don't know, I really wasn't paying attention. It's just one of the brilliant, like, little subtle lines that I just love in that movie, that movie's sprinkled with. Yeah, it's an easy shoe-in. S tier, you get no argument from me. So I think it's pretty unanimous.
You know, senior citizens, although slow and dangerous behind the wheel, can still serve a purpose. I'll be right back now. Now don't you go dying on me. Yeah. Classic. Yeah. But yeah, so we'll throw it back to
there
Rachel.
We go.
So
back around to Rachel. What do you got?
Don't be fine.
So another man that I love so deeply and has just a direct line to my funny bone. Like, just looking at him makes me laugh from all of the great memories he's given me from all of his movies and stand-ups and everything. I have to go. Also, this movie was released perfectly with my parents getting divorced. It is Mrs. Doubtfire. You can't and it 100% goes S. That is my recommendation. But basically it's a mandate. Robin Williams is an actor that can make both children and adults laugh at the same joke for completely, thankfully, different reasons. And this movie has so much heart. It has, you know, it's got the little girl from Matilda, and Sally Field is wonderful.
Mara Wilson?
Get an early scoop at, you know, Pierce Brosnan, who back then was stunning. Hello. And like, it's just such a great, it's such a great movie about family and how there's still humor in tragedy and heartbreak. And it's Robin Williams in drag, and we get the, you know, Harvey Fierstein comes in as his brother, like matchmaker, make me a that whole. I would love to see the, like. Don't tell me you wouldn't watch 6 hours of outtakes from that cast. Like, I just want to see all of the different makeups that they went through instead of like the 5 that they showed us. Like, it's just a perfect movie, and it's literally like, I don't think I've ever heard anybody be like, "Oh, it's Mrs. Doubtfire on." We change it. Like, no, everybody sits down and enjoys it because every part of the movie is everyone's favorite part.
Rachel, what about Joan Collins? Oh, I don't think I have the strength.
I don't either.
But I do have some plaster.
Some plaster.
Maybe this kid, maybe this.
Peggy, what do you think?
I low-key love this movie. I love the fact that it'll make you die laughing and it'll also make you cry at points. And like the part where he's just in there, like he has the job at the movie studio and he's playing with all the dinosaurs. He's like, it's a dinosaurus line, and he does like James Brontosaurus and stuff. And none of that was probably completely ad-libbed by Robin Williams because that's just Robin being Robin. But the fact that this is so funny and has so much heart, yeah, I'm okay with keeping this at S tier.
Okay. This is one of my S's off the bat. I think when I think like comedies are a couple of things. One is they're funny, right? So this checks that box. But the other is like they stay with you, and this is definitely that for me. And I even like the scene where he's meeting the prospective guy, and he's like going back and forth the costume. He's in the restaurant with both the fam, and also like that he gets caught. It just, to me, the other thing that this movie delivers is heart. That there's total heart about this movie too. Now, all comedies don't have to have heart, but I feel like when it's not forced, when it's like come upon organically, the way that it is in this movie, it's so amazing. So 100% S tier for me.
Yeah, Malcolm, what do you think?
Well, I hope you're up for a little competition. She's got a power tool in the bedroom, dear. I mean, like, this is another one of those movies that's endlessly quotable. I mean, part of me wishes Jumanji was also in this list because that's another one that's a great Robin Williams comedy. But this is absolutely S tier, and I'd probably put it higher than Dumb and Dumber.
Oh wow, higher than Dumb and Dumber. All right. Well,
Serves a different purpose than Dumb and Dumber for sure.
Yeah.
This is one. Yeah, every time I go back to it, I kind of get something new out of it. And one of the examples of that is, as you got older, I think you appreciated the jabs that he and Pierce Brosnan go back and forth in the movie. Like the scene at the dinner table where he's just like, "She's got the crabs, dear." You know, like he's just talking. Like I didn't know what that meant when I was a kid, and like you go back and watch all this stuff, and all the little lines he's throwing out are hilarious. Like you said, the power tool thing. I was like, oh my god, like this movie's got a really dark sense of humor about it. But then on the flip side of that, I'm getting a little personal here, but when I went through a divorce like a few years ago, and then I watched this movie and I saw it in a whole new perspective. Like just even the little moments where Sally Field kind of breaks down and she does that line where she's like, I want a divorce, and you see that look like Robin Williams gets on his face of just like this devastation in his face, like it just shows his acting chops in that movie. Of like you can just see his heart just exploding inside of him, and just like his soul dying, and it made me appreciate the movie even more. So yeah, it's not one of the ones I would have thought to put in S tier, like coming into the show, but like I'm there, so yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah. This is what I like to call a Jimmy V type of movie, because you laugh, you cry, and it kind of makes you think a little bit. So
And the speech at the end on the television show that he does like about divorce, like responding to the letter, is like, oh my god, like it's insanely well written, really good.
I was 13 when my parents got a divorce, and this was like they were fighting like crazy beforehand. It's a little whatever TMI, but this movie was like I watched it constantly because it was so like. There's like
how bad did you want that the TV show that he did, like the sort of Mr. Rogers TV show? Like how bad did you want that to be like a real show? Like I would totally watch.
Give me 95 hours of Robin Williams, and I will ask you for 96. Like,
yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And for me, like I think this is one of those movies I probably need to go back and give a rewatch to, because I've seen it 3 or 4 times, but for some reason, it just didn't resonate with me probably as much as the rest of you. So I got to be a little bit of a dissenter, not by much, but for me, I think that it's probably more of like a B level for me. Just because it's probably I didn't really understand the real meaning behind some of the jokes, because actually since we're all sharing, my parents are going to the divorce right now, so they're currently in the process of it. So maybe
that's hard on a whole other level.
Yeah, go watch the movie, dude. You will appreciate it.
I appreciate it a little more.
You will go back and appreciate this movie. Yeah, as an adult,
grab a cup of chocolate milk and a blanket. You're never too old for that,
right? So I think for me, I would say B, but I'm totally happy leaving it in a low S. I think that's a perfect spot. So.
Plus, I will say I've never gotten a free drink out of quoting a movie before. When literally there was a guy at a bar acting up, and I threw a lime at him, and he came over and he's like, "What was that?" I was like, "It was a run by Fruity." Made the bartender laugh so hard that he was like, "Your next round's on me."
Nice. That's awesome.
It's great.
Goes to show, don't piss off Rachel.
Yep. Right.
Yeah. Don't act a fool in a bar.
Yep. So we'll throw it over to Peggy. You're up.
I have a feeling I'm going to introduce all of my movies by quoting a scene from said movie. So,
sure,
let
me know if you need any scene work. We can work on that while they're all talking.
Yeah.
There. Let's see if you catch it. Damn it! Melted chocolate in the dash. That really ups the resale value.
Already
I
know
think it'll be okay here. They have a thin candy shell.
Baby. Tommy boy, baby, do it.
I think your brain has a thick candy shell. Your brain has a shell.
Thick candy
Are you talking? Shut up, Richard. If you're gonna go endlessly quotable 90s comedy, you cannot not have Tommy Boy on the list. Tommy Boy is an S tier movie for me. Love it. If you talk about road trip movies, this is probably one of my top tier road trip movies. It's so great. Just random things like the scene with the fat guy in a little coat.
Come on, Richard.
Richard, who was your favorite little rascal? Was it Alfalfa or was it Spanky?
Sinner. Richard, why can't you express your true feelings?
Right? Endlessly quotable, laughed from beginning to end. Tommy Boy, definitely top tier 90s comedy for me.
Yeah. Kate, what do you think?
I won't push back on that. What I will say is that like Fat Guy in a Little Coat has been the anthem of my life since I became a mom. Because like also like it's both like when I was pregnant and like tried to put old clothes on, I'd be like, oh my god, fat guy in a little. It's also like when your babies are growing out of clothes and you put something on them that doesn't quite fit anymore. It's fun to fat guy in a little. But that being said, I just didn't watch it with the same repetition that I watched others. So I would also not be mad if this was an A. I support it. If I support S across the board, if that's where people feel like it should be, but for me, it was probably an A just because it didn't have the watchability, the rewatchability for me that some of these other films do.
Fair enough.
Yeah, for sure. Malcolm, what do you think?
I've actually never seen this. It's been on my list for the longest time. Just
do yourself a favor, sir.
It's one I've been trying to find, but it's just not been put on any streaming service. But I will say I have had someone insult me with the Fat Guy in a Little Coat before, and I don't even. Now I do.
Oh shoot!
That person's a twat.
I love that. Yeah, right.
You tell me who that person is. I will take care of this for you.
Yeah.
I'll tell you off here.
We'll fly all the way to New Zealand just for you, Malcolm.
Well, I mean, I'm going to make a trip out of it, so you know.
Right.
I mean, I've always wanted to meet Rachel in person anyway, so.
Yep. There you go. But Austin, what do you think?
Richard, does this tie make me look fat? No, your face does. Tommy Boy is, I think it's easily Chris Farley's best movie of the 90s, and he had some good ones, like, to be honest. But I found it always best when he had somebody strong to bounce off of with David Spade, and the writing of this one is so much superior. Like, you can just look at Black Sheep and just see how much more superior the writing and the direction is of Tommy Boy over something like Black Sheep. So I mean, just so many amazing classic scenes. You got Rob Lowe in there, who's low-key amazing in that movie too. Bo Derek, Brian Dennehy, the great Brian Dennehy, who unfortunately is like not in it quite enough, but like I wish he was in it more, but he's so great for the scenes he's in. He's so warm, like complete opposite of his First Blood character, which is so much fun. But he's great. This movie was another one that I almost thought was like a pretty much a shoe-in S tier. So I full on support that, absolutely.
Went a little heavy on the pine tree perfume there, kid.
Yeah.
Great, you pinpointed it. Step 2 is washing it off.
Dan Aykroyd's so great in that movie. Like he even said himself, like he's got all these people that know him from Ghostbusters, and then he also gets people every day that know him as Zelensky. Like it's pretty amazing because he's so good in that movie.
Yeah. I love the line where he's like, I'm just checking the end line on the rotary girder. I'm retarded. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I've interrupted happy time.
Yeah.
You can get a good look at the bull's ass. Wait, no, that's not it.
Good look, you're your butcher. No,
it's your cow. It's got to be your cow.
Yeah.
Butcher's ass.
Yeah.
Are you talking?
Like the whole scene where he's like trying to sell brake pad. He's like, so you're driving along. You're like, Daddy, I gotta go to the bathroom. Not now. Damn it. All of a sudden, there's a huge tire in the middle of the road. Stop. We're on fire. We're burning alive. Here comes the meat wagon. Wee.
New guy's puking in the corner.
Okay, so you guys watched it more than me. I'll give you that.
My face hurts. Not so much here or here, but right here. But S tier all the way. This is another one. I mentioned my friend Doug who passed away a few years back. Like this was our go-to movie. He was a massive Chris Farley fan, and like he was like a brother to me, and like we would spend hours and hours just watching all these Chris Farley movies all the time. And so I'm like definite S tier. There is another Chris Farley movie that I added on here just because probably it makes me laugh just a little more, but I can recognize though that Tommy Boy is the better movie. So I say S tier all the way. So.
Yeah, I'm definitely okay with having this at S. I mean, we literally, as soon as you brought it up, we were all like trying to vie for times to like say our favorite quotes. Like, it's just one of those things. It's like, Richard, what'd you do to the car? Like,
what'd you do?
I think it's a rule on this comedy show that when it's your turn, you just have to do a quote like from the movie if you love it.
Yeah.
That's just like a total rule.
It's just so great. And also like there are, it's so magical when you get a pairing like Farley and Spade. Like I can only like it hurts that we didn't get as many from them as we should have. But like this is like it's so great. It's so funny. Yeah, it belongs with us.
And also, I forgot to mention too. I got my little pop figures here, so I got oh, there you go. There's
Nice.
Chris Farley and David Spade right there. He's got the little brake pads in his hand. So yeah.
Does this toupee flap up?
No, but that'd be awesome if it did. Yes.
Hey, quit playing with your dinghy.
Yeah. Rascals. So yeah, we'll throw it over to Kate. So you're up.
Yeah, I'm just gonna keep being negative, but I want to balance the board here. So I'm not giving you my S's yet. I mean, I'm agreeing with the S's that you guys have put out there. I'm gonna bring up where was it? Nothing to Lose, because I don't know about this movie. I never saw this movie. And I just listen, you guys can tell me this is an S or an A.
I think we actually replaced it with something else because like nobody remembers it or gives a shit about that movie, to be honest.
Okay.
I think we replaced it with something else.
Yeah, so that movie was actually in the rough draft list, and so I don't even have a graphic for it. So like even if you want to,
then
like,
let us.
Are you telling me that the movie poster didn't exist online anywhere? That is hilarious.
Okay, then I'm gonna
go. No, there's a movie poster. I just
think the internet forgot this movie existed too. Yeah. Like it's, I don't remember this
my
movie.
assessment on this is correct. Perfect. I'm glad we.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
so
you can do another one if you like.
I'll pick another one.
Yeah,
I'll pick another one. I'm gonna say, okay, Detroit Rock City. Is that one still on here?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I don't. It's another one I haven't seen.
Okay.
So I'm gonna say. I'm just saying I was at the right age in the 90s. I wasn't too young. I was 10 and older. I was at the right age to have seen this, and I didn't. And so I just have to believe in my effort to balance out the board right now. I have to imagine this was anywhere between a C to an F. That's my guess. I'd be interested to know what you guys say.
All right, Malcolm.
Yeah, I also haven't seen this movie. I didn't know that it existed until this. So.
Well, we'll throw it over to Austin. I know you watched it this week.
Well, okay, so this is one Jordan and I went back and forth on the private chat between me and him this week because I had not seen it. He encouraged me to watch it, so he doesn't even know my thoughts on it yet. So this is like pins and needles. I hate to do this to you, Jordan, but it's like the typical mediocre 90s C-level comedy. I'm sorry. It just is. Like, so I will confirm Kate's suspicions. Like, it's fine. Like, it's fine. Like, it's like a pseudo road trip, like kind of stoner buddies hanging out, and the whole premise is they're just trying to get into like they're huge Kiss fans. So if you're a Kiss fan, like you'll love this movie, just like Role Models. Like if it's like got Kiss all over it, and it's got an S-level soundtrack. I'll say that. Like the soundtrack is
amazing.
Yeah, it's really good. But it's like they're just moping around, and then they lose their tickets, so they're trying to scam their way into it, and like it sounds like a synopsis for like every other 90s like mediocre comedy you ever saw. Like it is what it is. I hate to do this to you, Jordan. I'm sorry. I know you love the movie, but like. I mean, it was fine while I was watching it. I was mildly entertained. I watched the whole thing. But, like, I think the worst thing about it is the guys are actually really good together. Like, I like their chemistry. But then the last 45 minutes of the movie splits them off into their own missions, and then I got way less interested in it. And I'm sorry. It just is what it is. So, to me, it's like a C-level movie. But it may not even make the charts because I think we have a kind of a pseudo rule that like we got to at least have 3 qualified votes for it to even be on the chart. So unless a third person has a significant opinion on it, it may not even make the chart. Like it may stay in the haven't seen thing. So we'll see. But Jordan, go ahead. Tell me how wrong I am and how amazing this movie is.
Well, for me, part of the main reason why I love it is for the music, but I also love the way that it's shot too. Like it's shot really cool. Like the way that all the scenes are done. And also I got to give it. a shout out to Edward Furlong from the Terminator. He's in it. He's great. And then also Lynn Shay plays like a horrible mother. So like we just talked about the best and worst TV mom. If she worked at TV mom, she'd be like low. She'd be like in the F tier, or if there's anything lower than F, she's just a horrible mother. And my favorite scene is at the very end when Sam Huntington's character finally tells his mom off, and he's like, I just lost my virginity in a confessional booth. Lord have mercy. And he says it in a megaphone, like on this platform where all the mothers are like protesting this Kiss concert and like saying that they're knights in Satan's service, or like and like just making this huge like deal. But like I just think that it's a fun road trip movie. I love all the music. I love all the crazy situations they get into. Like it just like really resonated with me when I saw it, and like I watch this movie all the time. It doesn't have like a super kind of A-list cast, but it does have some recognizable names in it, and like and unlike a lot of the other movies, when they actually get into the content of the movie, doesn't just end. You get to see them really rocking out at the concert. You get to see Kiss do their thing up on stage, so that's a lot of fun. So yeah, I would give it probably like an A tier, a solid A tier. That's what I would say, but we'll see if enough of you haven't even seen it to even rank it. So Rachel, what do you think?
Okay, so this is a movie about guys who love a band. Of course, I've seen this movie.
Okay.
Yes.
So we at least have 3 votes.
Kind of my bread and butter. I mean, I like this movie. I don't find myself going back to watch it hardly ever, unless somebody's like, "Oh, remember Detroit Rock City?" Be like, "Yeah, it's been a few years since I've seen that. I'll pop that in," and then I'll be like, "Oh wait, I have an email I need to send. I'll just let it play." Like, it's
I found myself looking at my phone a lot, Rachel, which is like, yeah, it's like one of those movies where you're like, to me, you're not missing much. You're not missing much.
It's got a great soundtrack.
Yes.
I will agree with you there. It definitely has an S soundtrack. But like the movie's just like there's like nothing really special about it. It does have some funny moments, but like overall, it's kind of a movie that I don't mind if it's on in the background, which doesn't speak highly. So I'm good with like especially in this group of comedy movies. We're talking about 90s comedy. Like it's so cutthroat, and there's so much good stuff. There's a lot of bad stuff that makes it even greater. So like for this, like it's definitely like bottom of the barrel for me in this category.
So yeah, Chris Taylor. It's a good background movie.
Yeah,
maybe so.
It's a fine background movie. Like you can look up and be like, "Oh yeah, that's kind of a music scene," and go back to Twitter, and then like, "Oh, like that's a good song," and kind of
or
go
like
back.
have it playing
Like,
in another room in your house and just crank it instead of turning on Spotify.
Right? Yeah, and you just hear the songs. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, apparently, according to Mark Ellis, Peggy is from Detroit. So Peggy.
Yeah.
I'm just waiting for him to nickname me Detroit. That'd be great.
Just call you Peggy
like,
Town.
hey, Detroit, what's up?
I would really go for it, Rachel, because the characters kind of remind me a little bit of Jane Silent Bob. It's got that music. It's got, so that kind of thing. So, but
He's like, you didn't get that comparison.
Peggy,
yeah, you didn't give it a horrible ranking, so.
Yeah.
So C's all right.
I don't think I've seen this one. I remember that Edward Furlong is in it, but I don't know if I remember that from having seen it like maybe once back in the 90s, or I just remember the commercials or something. But yeah, I would put myself in the haven't seen category for this.
So 2 C's and an A is kind of like a C plus, bro. I hate to tell you.
I did not say
C.
I didn't say C. I said F.
That's fair enough.
You said F? Okay, so then it literally goes into C then.
Jordan, stop trying to give it a higher ranking just because you love it.
Right.
He's like, so we're going C.
If anything, it should go
D.
Got 2 F's.
How dare you, Jordan, love a movie that you love?
Right? Well, I mean, we could put it in D. Like, I mean, whatever.
No, C's fine.
right.
Average it out,
right? Right.
Yeah.
An A, a C, and F. That's perfect.
Yeah, A, C, and F. All right.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, there you go.
Malcolm.
So, Malcolm, you're up. You got.
I hope someone jumps in with the next line of this, but you want some Kool-Aid?
Ooh.
Anyway, the next one I'm going to bring up is Friday.
That's not the
Friday.
line.
Okay.
I was told there wasn't going to be any math.
Damn, y'all don't have anything. 2 things that match. Yeah, like, hey, no, that what is y'all want some Kool-Aid?
Okay.
Yep.
I thought you were gonna go with like "Bye, Felicia," or "You got knocked the fuck
No
out,"
sugar?
like something like
Hey,
that.
no
Yeah.
burger?
Yeah, right.
That's the line you go with?
Well, what's up, Big Perm?
Yeah.
I mean, Big Worm.
Big Worm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Anyway, I mean, I'm pretty sure Aaron J will murder us if we put this anywhere lower than an S. But
Yeah.
this is a fantastic movie. And like, I probably wouldn't have watched it if Aaron hadn't kept talking about it, to be honest. But it's such a great movie, so quotable. But yeah.
All right, Austin, what do you think?
It's tough. Like, I don't know where to put Friday because I love it when I watch it. But I've only gone back to watch it maybe 5 or 6 times. I did watch it very, very recently, like 2 months ago, and really liked it. But to me, it's like an A. It's like a solid like A, middle of the road A, and like I really like it. I think Chris Tucker is really, really good, and his chemistry with Ice Cube is fantastic. I love all the little side characters in the neighborhood, like the little person across the street from him that gets mad at his wife, like and then Bernie Mac like comes around as the Reverend, like trying to hit on her, and he gets kicked out of the house. Like Debo, rest in peace, Debo, like Tiny Lister.
Debo.
Like I like he's so good in that movie and so like intimidating. There's just a tiny moment that I love when him and Tugger are about to go, Smokey are about to go rob the house, and like he bumps into Debo, and then Debo gets mad and he just kind of quickly hugs him and then just like lets him go. I don't know. It's just a really random moment that I love, but to me it's like an A. I really like it, but I can't quite bump it into S for whatever reason. I can't do it.
Yeah.
A for me.
It's Friday. You ain't got no job. You ain't got shit to do. I mean, the movie's just like endlessly quotable for me. Like, and there's another movie that I just realized that I totally forgot to add a thumbnail to. So I watched the movie House Party this week, and like low key, like I almost kind of liked it a little better than Friday. I don't know if that's kind of like a hot take, but since I forgot the thumbnail, I'm not going to rank it. But I mean Friday, like I think Friday, like for me, I would give it a solid A tier. Like I think that's great, and it's a great movie that just takes place over just one day, 24 hours, and like all the characters are awesome. I love their Ice Cube's dad when he's sitting on the toilet and makes him come in and like give him some kind of lecture while he's sitting on the toilet or whatever. And yeah, like there's so many.
Well, I smelled your shit for 10 years. You can smell mine for 5 minutes.
Yeah, right. Exactly. So yeah, like I would say A tier for me, but we'll kind of see where it falls. Rachel, what do you think?
I feel like I'm gonna get a little dragged for this, but like I like Friday, but I don't love it. It's not a movie I go back to time and time again. It's one of those like, oh, if it's in the background, I don't mind listening to this. Like it's funny. I'll sit down and watch it if I don't have anything terribly important to do. But I do love Chris Tucker. So, I mean, I think for me, at the highest, I would go B.
Wow.
All right, B. Peggy, what do you think?
Remember, write it down, take a picture. I don't give a fuck. No, my grandmama gave me that chain. This is S tier for me. I can quote this movie backwards and forwards as well. Can't quote all of them, but I love this movie. If you go A, I'm okay with that, but for me, it's S. But I guess I'll give my vote for A because we gotta. Not B. B's too low. Sorry, Rachel.
You can vote for S. Like you can vote for whatever you want, and then we come up with a consensus. So like, if you think it's S, it's S.
It's S tier for me.
Yeah,
This is one of my favorite comedies.
All right, hey, go for it.
Right. Yeah. So, Kate, what do you think?
I think I'm wanting to make sure. I'm thinking about representation.
Right.
What I would gather is that. Excuse me, the way that there's a demographic that is represented in Friday. And I would imagine that this movie meant a lot more to them than any other movie on this list. So I'm going to say S because I have a feeling that this was a very culturally important movie for African Americans. And I think I can't look at any other movie and think like, oh, I bet Black people felt so great about this movie. Like, you know, I shouldn't be assuming anything but I just look at this and I think it just because it wasn't for me, I have to think about like what was the cultural significance at the time. And so I got to vote S on this one. I think this was like a very culturally significant movie in the 90s. And I think it made Chris Tucker.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
Definitely.
So I say
a
S.
cigarette. That's a cig of weed. Yeah. Yeah.
So we had 2 S's, 3 A's, and a B. Does it go at the top of A? I think.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Well,
Right at
see,
the
here's
top
the
of
thing,
A,
Kate,
yeah.
is that movie has a very good chance of either getting bumped up into S at the end of the show or making it into the honorable mentions. Because remember, we have 3 honorable mentions as well.
Oh,
So
great.
we have like a top 13, really, more
Again,
than a
it's
10.
not
So
it's not S for me
yeah.
personally.
No,
what I mean?
I would totally like support that though, because I think it's a very like when we're ranking them too. Yeah, you have to think about over time, like the
Cultural
impact that it's had, and I
significance,
think like
yeah.
Friday has had like an impact for sure.
That's
Like,
You know
what I
what?
it's
say.
definitely
There's
You know
there.
an
what?
impact.
Yeah.
I changed my vote. Put it up an S.
S, okay. So maybe it goes in S.
Yeah. I'm
Maybe
saying,
like
I was
a
saying
low
for
S.
me, I'm sorry, I completely lost track of it. I was saying that for me, it was a B, but yes, culturally, it is an S.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. Like I wonder if my skin was a different color, maybe I would appreciate it differently, you know? So maybe.
Well,
I don't know.
You look at this list of movies and like Eddie Murphy, if you're a Black American, how many of these movies have people that look like you in them? And there's
Right.
I feel like there's some, but
Yeah.
I
Very
imagine that like but there's Rush Hour here too. Okay, no.
Yeah.
Shoot.
And
Okay.
Rush
Major
Hour, we got
Payne.
Men in Black.
I love Major
Major
Payne and
Payne,
Men in Black. Yeah.
I mean, if we could nominate roles like Chris
Yeah.
Tucker in, oh my God, just went right onto my brain. In Fifth Element is probably one of the funniest things ever.
Oh yeah.
The movie as a whole is not great and funny, like in a comedic sense, but he is perfect.
Chris Tucker always brings it, man. Like he's great.
Chris Tucker's the closest that there is in terms of like appearing in multiple 90s movies. Like you've got like Mike Myers, you've got Jim Carrey, you've got
Adam Sandler.
Yeah. And like I feel like Chris Tucker's in that.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
it's not as frequent as the other ones.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, we almost had a movie in here called Money Talks. That's a Chris Tucker movie. What? Yeah. It was like one of our last minute cuts because we didn't think it was gonna even sniff the S tier, so we're like, we'll just leave it off. But but yeah, so are we on you, Austin?
Yeah, okay. I'm gonna go with a movie that that can resonate with almost anybody that has had any job ever, and that's Office Space for S tier.
Yes.
Because
Mike Judge.
Office Space.
And you don't even have to have had an office job necessarily to appreciate Office Space, because everybody has had coworkers that acted like one of the coworkers in this movie, or you've had a waiter that served you like the waiter at the restaurant. You've had bosses that you hated, or you had 4 different bosses who all said the same shit to you every day and buried you, like, and you just had an attitude of where you just don't give a shit anymore. Like, everybody can appreciate the humor in this movie. Even the opening scene with them sitting in traffic and the other lane is moving faster than you switch the lane and then you come to a stop. Like, everybody can appreciate everything in this movie. Like, it has an impact to where, like, it was so creative at the time, it was misunderstood at the time, and it's then found that audience, as people discovered it. And I dare you to find somebody who doesn't love Office Space, or at least something about it. Like, I think it absolutely deserves to be up here for its writing, for its genius. Mike Judge for the win. S tier for Office Space. Jordan?
Was he frozen?
Oh, is he frozen? Oh no, our host is frozen.
I can.
Oh, sorry, you were frozen for a second, Jordan.
No, I'm good. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
It's like, excuse me, but I believe that you have my red stapler. You have my stapler. Yeah, like that guy.
I was about to say, Jordan, you were frozen. I was about to say, now, Jordan, what exactly do you do here?
Yeah. Right. Yeah. What exactly? Yeah. But yeah, this this movie has so many awesome quotes, and it's like sounds like someone's got a case of the Mondays, or like just so many just like office quotes, and well, just the scene alone where they take the printer and just hell out of it, ball back to like some kind of rap music, like that is just. Hopefully you guys can still hear me. I'm kind of freezing a little bit, but yeah, Office Space for me is an absolute S tier. Like I think that it's great. One of my favorite memories when I was in high school is we got this big, huge inflatable projector, and I had like all my friends from the neighborhood come over and we watch Office Space on this huge giant screen. So that was a ton of fun, and I kind of want to go back and watch this movie now. Like I might watch it this week, probably. Like this movie's awesome. So yeah,
you'll come out of this movie loving the Ghetto Boys and Damn It Feels Good to Be a Gangster.
Yes.
And Die Motherfucker Die are like two of my favorite songs just because of this movie. Like if you don't love the Ghetto Boys after this movie, I'm sorry. Like the fact that it has a rap soundtrack makes it that much greater. Sorry, go ahead, Rachel. I apologize.
No, you're good. I feel like I related to this movie far too well when I was a teenager because I started working at a movie theater literally the day of my 15 and a half birthday because that in California makes you legal to get a work permit. And I already had a job lined up at the movie theater because my sister worked there. And literally I was like, so here's my application. I'm giving this to you early. You can post date it. So the day of that, my half birthday, I like got my permit, walked in, and they gave me my uniform. And I feel like this movie, like I remember like people in their 20s even being like, yeah, I relate to this. And I'm like, I'm 15 and I relate to this. Why is that a thing? But it's so perfect and so great. Also, it kind of like makes you want to not work in an office and just like go shovel rubble outside for a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
Like, and it's endlessly quotable. Endlessly. It's just so good.
Yep. Yeah, it's great. Peggy, what do you think?
All right. Now, I do love Office Space. I'm not quite sure it's S tier for me. I'd be fine with A, but not quite S. I mean, like the Pieces of Flair is hilarious with Jennifer Aniston working at, was it Tchotchkes is the name of the restaurant?
Tchotchkes.
Yeah, right.
And like the guy from was it the Drew Carey show that you can hear him through the wall?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Dieter.
Check out Channel 9. It's a breast exam.
Woohoo! And it's funny.
Yeah.
It's a good movie. It's a movie I go back to every now and again, but I'm not quite sure it should be top 10 of the 90s. Top 20? Okay, I'm on board. So that would be A to me.
Yeah.
But you guys are all saying S. That's fine. For me, it's A tier.
All right, Kate.
It's an S for me, but it will probably be the first S I vote to move down to A if needs be. And the reason it's an S for me is Ron Livingston. You've got Jennifer Aniston. You've got Gary Cole. It basically is Silicon Valley before Silicon Valley.
Yeah.
And it's got the same like soundtrack vibe that Silicon Valley does. It's just Mike Judge's big thumbprints all over it. And I love it. I'm here for it. Stephen Root. Hello, Stephen Root. Like
John C. McGinley was also one of the Bobs.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I just feel like we just watched this. I actually have a poster, a scratch off poster that's 100 movies that you should see. And this is one of the 100 movies that they think you should see. There's like,
okay.
This like Star Wars, and like this is one of the 100. So to me, this is an S for me, but I could argue for it, if it needs to get moved down, I could see that happening too.
Maybe I can't put it S because his name is Peter Gibbons and my name is Peggy Gubbins. And
Yeah, a little close to home. But Malcolm, what do you think for Office Space?
Remember, next Friday is Hawaiian Shirt Day. That being said, I do enjoy Office Space. I'm probably going to be a big contrarian here. I think it's just fine. I'm going to put it. I'm voting for C.
Oh, okay.
Wow. Malcolm's making a statement, guys. Malcolm's got some stuff to say.
Well, to each their own. So,
so that moves it out of an S for sure.
Well, we had 3
does it?
S's, 2 A's, and a
That's like-
C.
yeah,
who
3 S's.
lost
So
it?
I feel like the S's still outnumber everything. I don't know. Like, yeah, because we
I
had
thought there was 4 S's.
we had 4 S's, so it stays
No,
an S.
Peggy,
I think,
Peggy
'cause
was an A.
Yeah.
I was
Okay.
an S.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
And
I was
then-
an S. Okay, 4 S's.
So we had 4 S's,
That
so
was
it
an
stays an S. Yeah. That's unanimous. Yeah.
We'll leave
The
it in
C
that.
doesn't drag it down to an A?
It drags it down to the
No.
bottom of S. Like it maybe
Yeah,
like
maybe
to
like
the
a
like
10.
number, like if we did
Yeah.
a top 10, like number 10, you know what I mean, something like that.
Okay.
But I think
Yeah,
it
just
drags
kind of like
like
you
it
said,
does
Kate, like it could be one
it keeps
to move
it
down.
from
Yeah.
it keeps it from going above like Tommy Boy or Dumb and Dumber, you know, things like
Yes.
that. So
Yeah.
I think that's what it
Okay.
does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so
Jordan's
it's my
up.
turn. So let's see. So I kind of want to go one of these sequels. So I put a couple on here that were the first movie versus the sequel because I wanted to see how the argument would fall. So I got to go with Ace Ventura. When
Don't
Nature
do
Calls.
this again, Jordan.
Yes,
We're gonna retread
yes.
the same shit
Wait,
we
you said
retread
when
in the
nature
sequel.
calls?
Oh my
Absolutely.
god.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like,
Rachel,
But
let
for
me
me-
explain something real quick. We
No.
just had an episode
Better
about
than the
direct
first.
sequels. We just had with Jeff Snyder and PG's
so many more
opponent,
quotable lines.
like with Paige, and like we had the biggest fight about Ace Ventura: When Nature Calls, like the biggest disagreement ever. And now he's gonna force me to do it again. Like I can't believe this. Oh my god.
Yes.
Whoa! That is
see,
bold, Jordan.
exactly my point. Exactly my
This is
point.
one of the movies that
Yes.
I laughed the hardest at because there's so many lines where it's
Exactly.
like walking through the
Thank you.
the tribe shouting the bumblebee tuna stuff, and then like say, "Hey, your
Oh
balls
my
are showing,"
God.
and then like
You're
the
gonna
whole
make me do this
Monopoly
again.
guy when he's like, "You must be the Monopoly guy," and then the whole thing with the Slinky or like the baby rhino, like, "Look, Mom, the baby rhino's giving birth," and like there's just so many things that like I think that it's Jim Carrey almost at his best. Besides Dumb and Dumber's the only one that I can put ahead of it, but I can quote like.
Don't you lie, Jordan. You said this was his best performance on that show. You said this was his best. That's what you said. You said this was his best movie and his best performance. That's what you said.
But overall, I think Dumb and Dumber might be a little bit better of an overall movie. But Ace Ventura though, like When Nature Calls, just like I had this movie on repeat growing up. Like I watched this so many times, it just cracks me up. Like and like with Ace Ventura: Pet Detective, I just can't remember as many of the lines. I remember maybe like 3 or 4 lines, but that's it. Like it's not like as memorable to me, not as quotable, that doesn't make me laugh as hard. The whole Chitty Chitty Bang Bang scene that was 100% improvised. Like it's the best Chitty Bang Bang scene in any movie, including Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. So it's like so it's like so good.
All right, can the 4 of you please help me smack him down out of this S tier nonsense in his head for When Nature Calls, please? Rachel,
I was gonna go easy, but then you just besmirched the holy name of Dick Van Dyke, and now gloves are fucking off. No.
We'll see.
No.
No, I think I killed Kate.
I dropped something.
What do you think, Rachel?
Okay, so this movie, I'm not gonna lie, I love this movie. It makes me laugh so hard every time I see it. But then as soon as it's done, I don't really
watch it again, right?
Like I just don't like it's Jim Carrey being Jim Carrey, and I love it, and it's funny. But like this role, if I'm gonna pick either of the Ace Venturas to be an S, which I'm pretty sure I'm not, it's not this one. So this one definitely goes down. I would rank this a solid C at
C.
Yeah.
Right on, baby. Right on there, Rachel.
Worse than Austin Powers? I mean, come on. Like
Yes. Yes.
I think it's at least better than Austin Powers, but that's just me.
It's fun to be wrong sometimes, though.
Yeah, it's okay. You can be wrong sometimes.
We'll see.
It's all right.
What do you think, Peggy?
To train the dolphin, you must be getting inside the dolphin's head, and you must be communicating.
No, baby. When Nature Calls.
It's in the first
second one.
What? No,
I know, we're talking about how, but the first one's much better, so we'd rather quote that one.
Yeah, it's the second one.
I had stepped away for a second. My bad.
Okay.
We
did
the second one.
She just made my argument. She's talking about the first one inadvertently and how great that one is.
She was a little confused. Like both spears, yes.
It's in the bone. Like what? Let me guess. White Devil.
Chikaka.
Okay. I was not a huge fan of him in the mechanical rhino, and then he has to crawl out of the ass of it, and the tourists are thinking that he's a rhino giving birth, and he comes out.
It's so hot. He's got to get out of there.
Little gems over there, like, and you must be the Monopoly guy.
Yep.
Thanks for all the free parking.
Yep.
I maybe.
I Silver away.
Yeah, it's got its moments for sure, but it should not be in S tier.
See, even people who love it call it a B or a C. I mean, come on, Jordan.
We're gonna give it an S tier.
Love it.
Just to make it at least land at a B or an A. We'll see. But Kate, what do you think?
Well, I am Team Rachel and Team Austin on this one. I'm so sorry.
Yeah,
I'm going solid. I'm going solid C plus. So if you wanted to give it a B, I would not say that was incorrect. But it's just it's not. There's nothing in it for me. I just honestly, the only reason I like Ace Ventura the first over this one is because it was original. It was like it was brand new. It was like the introduction of it. So to me, I'm sort of like this. I feel like sometimes they just they like lean too hard into the character, and I feel like this was definitely a case. It's the same thing with the Austin Powers for me too. That he just leaned too hard. He leaned too far into that character.
How many people can I kick off the stream at once? No, no, you're all good. but yeah, fair enough. Malcolm, what do you think?
What I think is, Jordan, do not pass go. Do not click $200.
Yes.
This is not better. This is not better than Austin Powers Spy Who Shagged Me. This is a C at best.
Oh, come on. It's way better than Austin Powers. Come on. But, well, then it probably belongs in a C, but I'm going to give it at least better than Detroit Rock.
It's funny. He just skipped me because he knows where I put it. He knows where I put it on there. Yeah.
But yeah, Austin.
That's fine. No, you don't. No, I was just going to say, you want to hear my thoughts on that? You go back 2 episodes ago when we talked about sequels, and like I ran in a rave about it then, like, and how crazy he was because he tried to put it in S tier for that show too. I was like, you're out of your goddamn mind. Putting it in no, literally. Let me tell you guys who are new to the show. He tried to put it in the same tier as Godfather 2 and Terminator 2 and like all these amazing movies, and like I was like, bro,
I'm not a Godfather person. Like I don't like the Godfather.
But it's on the same level as those
Terminator
movies for
though.
sure.
Yeah.
Now I'm just concerned for him. Like first I pity him.
I love Jordan. Like, oh my god! Like your obsession with this movie is.
But Godfather.
Your obsession with this movie is like unhealthy, and I'm gonna get you therapy after the show. So yeah. No, but I mean, I love you, Jordan. I really do. I'm glad you get. Look, let's just put it this way. I'm glad you get that much enjoyment out of this movie. I truly am. Like, if you love that movie, that's amazing. But it's like a C-level movie in everybody else's book besides yours. I'm sorry. So I apologize. Literally. If
it makes you feel better, Jordan. One person in the chat does agree with you that Red Electrical belongs in S.
Yeah, there you go.
Right.
Yeah. So
here you go. Yeah, let's throw it up there. Here you go.
Oh, man.
Thank you, movie man. You're smart.
Yeah. Right.
But anyways,
I knew he was going to do it. I knew he was going to bring this movie up again and just to make me mad. I knew he was going to do it. So, yeah. All right, we're back around to the front. So go back to Rachel.
All right. What else do we have left on the wheel?
Got a lot left up there, actually.
This is such an easy call for me. This movie will always make me laugh without fail, regardless of my mental or emotional state. It's also one that my dad and I loved watching together. He loved this movie, and my dad laughs like I do, like just with whole body and soul. And it just makes me so happy. It's also the best Star Trek movie that's ever been made. I will stand by that. And that movie, of course, is Galaxy Quest.
Yes.
It has an all-star cast who every single person is cast beautifully. Also, the writing is so smart. It lovingly embraces the fandom. It has such great lines, constantly quotable. And I don't think that it's ever going to, I don't see anything about it that is ever going to be deemed as controversial or like a hard watch. Like, this is timeless, I feel. And and I would put it in S, honestly.
Put in the S tier. All right. Well, we'll see what everyone thinks. Peggy, what do you think?
All right, we've reached the point of the program where Rachel privately messages Kate and tries to get me traded because I have not seen Galaxy Quest.
I haven't either.
Oh.
If she wants to trade you, she's out of luck because I haven't seen it either.
No. See, if you had hated it, then we get rid of you.
Okay.
If you haven't seen it, so you don't know of the joy that
Well,
awaits.
it's
I
understandable.
like
It's kind
Alan
of
Rickman. I like Sigourney Weaver. I mean, I don't know.
Galaxy Quest is one of the hidden gems of the 90s that not everybody has discovered yet. So I could totally
Piggy, I
understand
will say
that,
this:
actually.
you will love this movie. Knowing what I know about you, you will love this movie, and you too, Kate. Like this is so great.
Rachel, we should do a watch.
I really like Severus Snape.
So
I really like the Sheriff of Nottingham.
I love him.
Yep.
Yes. Well,
Because it's dull, you idiot.
Nicholas it hurts Stallion, twit. It'll hurt more.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, Kate, you haven't seen it then, huh? So,
No, I also haven't seen it, so not that counts or anything, but I feel like another one where two people, I can't support it at S. I'm just saying.
well, we'll see if we have enough support from the rest of us, maybe. Malcolm, what do you think?
By grandfather's hammer, you shall be avenged.
Yes.
There's a red thingy moving towards the green thingy. I think we're the green thingy. This absolutely belongs. This absolutely belongs at S tier. For those that haven't seen it, watch this and watch the documentary that Screen Junkies did about this. This is just such a great movie. This is one that I go to a lot. This is not actually one I try to watch every year. I haven't actually done it this year, but I will plan on watching it again sometime.
All right, awesome. Austin, what do you think?
Yeah, this is actually one I was rewatching today, like a few hours ago before the show, because I hadn't seen it. It had been a minute since I'd seen it, like probably 5 or 6 years since I'd watched it, and I was still like blown away by how well this movie holds up. It's really, really good. It's super smart. I'm a huge Star Trek fan, so like all the stuff with the Comic-Cons at the beginning, like with, like just how accurate almost that is, like to a T for as many as I've been to, and the cast dynamic of like the people in the show within the movie, especially like Sam Rockwell's in this movie, Justin Long's in this movie, everybody you see in this movie you're so happy to see. And I may be showing my man card here, but like I've always had a thing for Sigourney Weaver because I'm a big Aliens fan, but like she's never been sexier in this movie. She's smoking hot in this movie. Like she's amazing.
Yeah, we're all. I think we're all into Sigourney Weaver.
Yeah, like she's smoking in this movie. Like she's great, but she's also amazing. Like I think this might be Tim Allen's best movie, to be honest. Like other than like the Toy Story stuff, like his best live action movie, you could make an argument for it. So, like other than Toy Story, that's what I'm saying. But like, I would definitely go like, I don't know if I'd go like top of S because I've rewatched Dumb and Dumber and Tommy Boy and Office Space, things like that connect me more. But if it scooted into like a number 9 or a 10, I'd be super happy with that for sure. I'll go S.
Yeah, so I think that probably I would give this a low S because like there's just so many great lines, the way that they do the kind of like whole Star Trek convention and like being on this fake kind of Star Trek-ish TV show, and then they end up on a real planet, and then just all the cast everyone who's already been mentioned already, so I won't go through all the cast again, but yeah. And when the documentary came out, I was working in an AMC theater, and so like I started seeing these people that were like dressed up, and it looked what kind of strange. I'm not gonna lie. Like I'm like who are these people kind of dressed like these alien kind of creature things? What's going on? Like oh yeah, they're showing the Galaxy Quest documentary. So we had an entire packed theater as people dressed up as I forget the like race of the aliens on there, but we all came dressed as the aliens, and like so in the middle of my shift, so I was working, but I kept sneaking in to go see bits and pieces of the documentary while I was working, and like it was fun to see like Scott Mantz and some of these other Screen Junkie guys pop up on there. That was a lot of fun, but the movie overall is just great. Like I have a lot of love for it. So I think a low S for me. I probably wouldn't put it above some of the higher tier S we got going, but yeah, I give it a low S.
There you go. I stand corrected.
So, yeah. So if you haven't seen it, like I would definitely recommend it. Like
everybody who's seen it,
it's a great movie.
Yeah, so Peggy and I are obviously missing out.
It's really good.
It's real good, and I think it's streaming on Amazon. I think
it's on Paramount Plus right now, which is how I watched it today. Because it makes sense because they have all the Star Trek movies too, so that makes perfect sense.
Yeah, I know the documentary's on Amazon Prime.
Yeah, the documentary is. The movie's on Paramount right now.
Like the movie has such a such a fierce fandom that they had to make a movie about it. Like it's great.
Yeah, right.
In fairness, so does The Room. You know what I mean?
Yeah. True.
Fine. But, you and your logic.
All right, PG's up. What do you got?
Yep,
back to Peggy. I will cut to the middle of this quote in effort to be more like a brevity, for brevity's sake. And I apologize for my lack of being able to play the guitar and my lack of singing ability, but here we go. I can't believe I found a love that's so pure and true. But it all was bullshit.
Yes.
It was a goddamn joke. When I think of you and I hope you fucking choke. There's a severe lack of romantic comedies on the board right now, so leave it to me,
Absolutely.
the one who loves rom-coms to no end, to put The Wedding Singer on this board. I would put it A tier. I'm thinking you guys might knock it down to B. I mean, kind of for me, A tier sounds about right for me. But I love this movie. Another quotable movie. It's my favorite Adam Sandler movie, obviously, since it's him and Drew Barrymore, and that's a great pairing every time they get paired. Except for maybe Blended. It's not as good, but like 50 First Dates is great. But this one is, I mean, it just screams 80s, like the point where hey Linda, you're a bitch. You might have trust when we're gonna do it. It's so great. It's such a good movie. But yeah, A tier, Wedding Singer. That is my nomination. Have at it, panel.
I gotta tell you, I'm with you on A, at least an A. I would say, like, of Adam Sandler's movies, I feel like Adam Sandler is sort of polarizing for people.
Yeah.
Because I feel like some people don't like this thing, but they sort of and like this is like arguably, I would say, like, of his comedies, probably the most widely accepted, like the least polarizing. I think people even who hate Adam Sandler would agree that this was a great movie. So I'm fine with it in A. I would say A+.
Yeah.
I would maybe even, no, I don't want to do that, but I would say I could even see Wedding Singer moving up and Office Space moving down. I have like a real desire to get this right.
I'd be okay with that.
I'm like, we got to get this right.
Right. Yes.
Anyway, that's A for
sure. A lot
sure.
at stake. But Malcolm, what do you think?
I mean, I strategically left this for P because I knew she would
yeah.
And I'm actually going to be that guy. I'm going to say it belongs in the S tier. Like I love, like, out of all of Adam Sandler comedies, I love Wedding Singer the most out of his 90s rom-com. So it's S tier for me.
I'm okay with
Austin?
I might be the wet blanket of this round, so I apologize, Peggy. But like, I'm not gonna trash the movie. The only reason I can't rank it very high is I've only seen this movie like twice, and honestly, and I don't mean this as an insult, I forget this movie exists. To be honest, just because it's smashed in between like the Billy Madison, Waterboy, Big Daddy era, and then like it's right in the middle of that, and then I kind of forget it was even made. Like, I forget this, like, and then when people bring it up, I'm like, oh yeah, that movie did happen in the middle of all that. And to me, it's like, I don't think it's had the impact that some of his other movies have had, I'm just being honest. And like, that's the reason why I haven't gone back to it. Like, when I did go back to it, I think a few years ago, I enjoyed it, but something about it just doesn't click with me. Like, I just don't, like, pardon the pun, it just doesn't click with me. But like, you know, anyways, so for me personally, and I'm not trying to be like mean, it's like a C in my book because I've barely gone back to it and I forget it exists. So I'm sorry, but it's like a C in my book.
Ouch.
Oh wow.
I'm trying to break it easy. I'm not trying to be mean. I swear I'm not. But like,
No, I know.
I enjoy when I
We're
watch
also
it.
not like actually
somewhat, but,
taking this personally.
Yeah. I just want to make that clear. Like, I'm glad you enjoyed that. I wish I enjoyed it that much and remembered that it existed again, to be honest. So
worth a revisit, sir.
Okay. No, I'm with you.
Right, if you watch this again, Peggy will watch Galaxy Quest. Deal?
Cool.
Right. Yep.
I will make
There
that
you
deal.
go. Yeah.
Cool.
He's losing his mind, and I'm reaping all the benefits. because I think that
Sophisticated mama.
I think that for me, like, it definitely deserves a high A, possibly a low S. I'm kind of right there with Kate. It might overtake Office Space, maybe. I'm not sure. That one's kind of a toss up for me. But The Wedding Singer is great, and it's the only way that I can get my dad to actually watch any Adam Sandler movies with me, because he loves The Wedding Singer, but he hates all this other stuff. So yeah. So we have that connection there. I mean, I don't think he hates everything Adam Sandler does, but a big chunk of it. But yeah. We gotta have, I feel like, at least one rom-com in the top 10, and I feel like this might be the one. I don't know if we have too many rom-coms, but on the list, but we gotta have at least one, and I think this one, might be S. I'm gonna say A for now. I mean, but we'll see where it lands at the end of the show. But Rachel, what do you think?
T-shirt before you jinx the band.
Not only is this like got some of the best music,
the soundtrack
out the entire movie, and not just the ones that they sing. Although who doesn't love John Lovett singing whenever possible? But it also gave us the first time that we see these two together. And we literally get, like, this is when they met and like fell in love for the first time, and then we got to see it again and again. I love this movie. It's so sweet. I also remember how awkward it was to watch this with my mom, whose name is Linda. So growing up with the would be like, you a bitch. She instantly knew, and she's like, you do not get to use that quote in the house. And I was like, all right. I was like 12 or something. She was like, she already knew. But it's so great. It's so funny. I'm good with it going like A+, S- for sure.
Yeah, that's about
it's just so good. Also, it is one of the only rom-coms I think that are going to could possibly make the S list.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
for
think
sure.
The consensus is kind of a high A, so you could probably bump it up a little bit. Yeah,
I think high A.
I put it. Yeah.
Next to Mallrats, kind of. Yeah.
No, I'd probably put it.
Did we there?
I put Mallrats ahead of it. Just for
Yeah. All right. That's
something. You could do that.
It's got a good chance of getting into the honorable mentions. We're getting kind of near the end, so it can get in there. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Thrawn, I've literally gone into. I've literally tried to find my mom in crowds, just being like, "Hey, Linda," and she's like, "No." Like that.
But I do want to say too, like, another thing that this movie has going for it is that I think Adam Sandler's kind of low key a supporter of transgenders, because you have that like singer George or whatever,
George.
And then also in 50 First Dates, there's a transgender in 50 First Dates too. So it's like he's a low key supporter. So I mean, it has that going for it too. So I kind of like that.
Steve Buscemi drunkenly singing karaoke at the end of the movie, which is like great.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I'm a person two pops. God damn it.
Yeah, but we'll throw it over to Kate. You're up, so.
Yeah. Okay. So this one's interesting for me because I can't decide if this is an S or a not a comedy. Because the reason I would argue it is an S is that it was a cultural phenomenon. People started to dress this way. It was something everybody saw. It introduced Paul Rudd to the world. And the other thing is, I don't think about it as being hilarious or even I just think it's like a great movie. And that is, of course, the movie Clueless. Yeah. So I'm curious to know, I'm on both ends of the spectrum of this. I think it is so culturally important to the 90s, especially to teenagers in the 90s. I don't think you can think of another movie that teens responded to the same way across the board, like as they did to this, including like you also have the guy that ended up being in 6 Feet Under. What was his?
Chad Michael Murray.
No,
No, he's not in that.
no.
Oh, you're talking about Elton.
Yes,
what is
Elton,
his
the guy that plays
Oh,
Jeremy
Jeremy
Sisto.
Sisto.
Jeremy Sisto.
Yeah. Okay.
You got,
We also had
Jeremy Sisto.
Donald
I just feel like
I can't find my Cranberry CD. I gotta go
yeah,
back
I
to
feel
one
like
for some
this
exit.
is Clueless was to teens in the 90s, what like Breakfast Club was to teens in the 80s. So
Okay.
but I'm still not sure if that qualifies as a comedy or not. So my vote is either S or not a comedy. Discuss.
We'll see. We'll start with Malcolm. What do you think?
I mean, it definitely is a comedy. Like I love this. I do really love this movie. It's like one of Leach Silverstone's better movies that was out in the 90s. But I'm probably going to say A for this though, because it is one that I don't think is quite S tier, but it's definitely not one of the worst ones.
Yeah, for sure. Austin, what do you think?
Yeah, I was a 9-year-old boy when this movie came out and didn't see it in the theater. So, and I've gone back and I have watched it several times, and I do realize, like, I think the script is very smart. I think all the performances are very good. Like, Alicia Silverstone is amazing. I love Dan Hedaya in that movie as her dad. I think he's kind of brilliant, low-key brilliant in that movie. But to me, like, I don't have that connection with it, you know, so I can't put it like super high just because I don't go back and connect to it, probably understandably so. Like, it's just not like one of those movies that I click with. But I do like it and think it's very strong. I give it like a strong B+, like just in my book.
This movie is to me what Mallrats is to Rachel. I'll just put it that way.
That's cool. I can see that.
I put my flag. I put my flag in the S territory. But again, it was mixed for me anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for me, so I've only seen this movie one time, and I'm almost tempted to maybe not even like participate in the ranking because I saw it once, and I probably saw it when I was like really young. I was maybe like 12 when I saw it, and like I recognized some of the cast. Like, I mean, obviously Lisa Silverstone, Paul Rudd, Donald Faison, Breckin Meyer. Like, some of those guys are awesome. I love all those guys. I mean, but it's hard for me to rank it very high because I've only seen it once and it didn't really resonate with me. It's not one I really went back to go see. So I mean, but I don't want to rank it low either. Like I would give it probably a solid B. I think that's probably where I would stand on that. But Rachel, what do you think?
See, I think this movie is perfect. I think it is an S tier for 90s movies, but as a 90s comedies had such like a style to them, and I just don't feel. Yes, there are moments during this movie that will literally make you bust out loud, like when Dion drives onto the freeway for the first time and the car is behind her and it's honking and they're all anxious. Like, that shit makes me cry almost every time. It's so funny. But like, it doesn't keep me constantly laughing. Like, would you say that the book that it was based on is funny, like is a comedy? No. Like, it's a great book, but it's not a comedy. So I'm going with Kate and saying that it's an S status movie, but not in this category. So I would say that it's not a comedy.
I love that you articulated that much better than I did. Thank you, Rachel.
I do that sometimes.
Right.
When I'm
well, Peggy, what do you think?
For me, there are 3 directors who are absolutely masterful at like capturing the zeitgeist of a generation or a certain period of time amongst the youth of a generation, and that would be John Hughes, Richard Linklater, and Amy Heckerling. Now, does this movie make me like just belly laugh to the point I'm like in tears? No. Is it one of my favorite movies of the 90s? Yes. So it is a comedy. It doesn't make me cry at all at any point. I guess I would keep it A, just because it's beloved by so many. I mean, it's not going to put you in stitches, but it will make you laugh out loud at certain points. And I happen to adore
Got some people backing us up on a comedy.
I mean, it's funny, but it's not like,
and it's endlessly quotable.
Yeah, it's endlessly watchable for sure, and quotable.
Well,
oh my god.
Well, I think for those of us who have,
may she rest in peace.
Yep, right. I think from the consensus though, but like we have to give it a solid A, unless we're going to throw it into not a comedy. But I think enough of us feel like it's a comedy. So I
Wikipedia
think
says Clueless is a 1995 American coming-of-age teen comedy film.
Yeah.
So I guess it counts.
Well.
What are you wearing?
You could well, to what Rachel said, you could probably make an argument that it's more of like a coming of age movie than like a full blown comedy, kind of like a Stand By Me kind of a thing. But I think I could also see people arguing for a comedy, like full blown, because that's kind of what it was marketed as. So I mean, like you could definitely.
I'm fine with it as solid A for sure.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah. Also, I understand why people have a problem with her dating her stepbrother, except for her stepbrother's ball run. Okay.
Yeah, no. It's an instant pass.
I think this is like the beginning of that stepsister, stepmother, whatever fantasy genre.
On Pornhub, yes.
Yeah, on Pornhub, exactly.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
No,
for me, like
two permits do not equal a license.
So I'm looking at I'm looking at what we've got. There's definitely one actor that hasn't got a movie out here. Has never got one in this list. But I'm going to preface this with a quote: "Drive carefully and don't forget to fasten your condom." Seatbelt. I meant seatbelt. But Father of the Bride is absolutely yes for me. I mean, this is a great movie, and I know when they did the Zoom Part 3, which I really hope I really hope it becomes an actual theme, because I really want to see that.
Yes,
but like this is such great, and Steve Martin is like as a comedian is one of the best. He's definitely up there, and he deserves to have a movie in S tier. This is the only one that was on this list, so
yeah, definitely. Austin, what do you think? You just watched it, didn't you?
I literally turned this, like, just finished the movie. The credits rolled 10 minutes before we started the show. This was another one of my first time watches for this weekend, along with Detroit Rock City, were my first time watches for this weekend, because I'd never seen it, and didn't really know much about it going in. I knew Steve Martin was in it. I knew Martin Short was in it, and that was about as far as my knowledge went of it. It was fine. It was fine. Like all right. Like it was fine. Like to me, there's a way better wedding movie, and it was a few years after, or like about 10 years after this, called My Big Fat Greek Wedding, that I just think is an S level, like, all timer, that I just click with more. Father of the Bride was fine.
I would say 10 years after that. I would say 10 years after that, there was a better one called Bridesmaids. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. Like, I mean, Steve Martin, I'm not the biggest fan of Steve Martin overall. Like, I enjoyed like his reaction shots and like his like kind of underhanded dealings throughout the movie, trying to get, investigate the dude. I thought Martin Short, I mean, I may be in the minority, I thought he was atrocious in this movie. Like, I hated his every decision that he did with the character. I hated his character. He's doing this, like, he's doing Bruno like 15 years before Bruno, and like I hated it. I hated it. And I'm sorry, like I did not enjoy that. It immediately turned I wanted to turn the movie off after that, like when he started doing his thing, and I'm sorry for that. Like, it was okay, but like it was like a C+ in my book. I'm sorry. I thought it was all right, but I didn't feel it. Sorry.
You don't have to be sorry.
Yeah, sorry, not sorry.
The heart wants what the heart wants.
Yeah.
Yep. Exactly.
It's not Steve Martin.
You guys, my butt hurts from sitting so long.
Yeah, right.
I'm just gonna squat.
You need to stand or whatever we got to do. But yeah, for me, like I'm kind of on the same page as Austin. I mean, I may give it more of like a B, but I mean, like it's just one that I didn't realize that people had so much love for. Like I've done multiple shows where people are just ranting and raving about Father of the Bride, and like I think that it's funny. I think that that's good. I actually like Part 3 almost better than both Father of the Bride movies put together. Like, I absolutely want to see George Baxter just like freaking out during COVID and like trying to keep everybody safe and like do hand washing and mask wearing and just like trying to protect the family. So yeah, like I loved all of that, but I think overall I got to give it a B. So But Rachel, what do you think?
As a female, this movie means the world to me. I don't know if I can actually vote because it's been about 10 years since I've been able to watch this as a comedy instead of a wish fulfillment movie. So I do love it, but I feel like it's more of like a coming of age movie. I mean, I love Steve Martin. He makes me laugh so hard, especially when he's got Martin Short with him. Like everybody's so perfectly cast and wonderful. Also, this is the girl who plays the lead in this, married. Oh my God, what's his name? Who's the guy that does all the?
Kimberly Williams is her name.
Kimberly Williams married. What was the country?
Brad Paisley.
Brad Paisley, who, because he saw her in this movie, had his people call her people to set up a date, and that's how they met. I'm not even joking. Like, it is the sweetest.
That movie.
Yeah. So I love this movie, but like, I feel like I have to abstain from my vote just because it's an emotional movie for me.
Okay, fair enough. Then Peggy, what do you?
You know, I love me some rom-coms, but you know what? I'd be fine if we put this in the B tier because while it is funny, it's more heartfelt, and you're just kind of, I don't know, you're trying to like root for George to like finally like stop freaking the fuck out about the wedding.
Yeah.
And I would love to have Diane Keaton as my mom. That would be fantastic. And if my father owned a shoe company, I would guarantee you he's gonna make cuter shoes than the ones he's making at his factory in this movie. But no, B tier is good. I mean, it's really cute. I mean, I think Martin Short's character is a bit over the top, but then again, that's Martin Short. That's what he does.
It was also the 90s.
Yes, that too.
I would have loved it more if he was just being like manic, regular Martin Short in that movie and not putting on like the accent and stuff. Like if he was just being Martin Short, I think it would have been better. Just me personally, like the weird voice he puts on and the accent is just a little bit over the line for me, and it just turned me off. I didn't like that.
Let's toss it all, nab and blah. But like, it's I don't know. It's B tier sounds about right for me. I don't know if that's where the consensus is going to fall between everybody, but I have a personal love of this just because Andy plays basketball and I played basketball, and I always wish my dad would come out and play with me, but they never really did, so I was always envious. But I don't know. Yeah, I'd put it at B, even though I love it.
Yeah, Kate.
I mean, I think it's a solid B. I think I've maybe seen it twice. Steve Martin to me is an S, but also Eddie Murphy is an S to me, and I still put Nutty Professor at D.
Yep.
So I feel like this. I understand. Like there was definitely, and maybe this was like if you were a 20-something in the 90s, this movie meant a lot to you. It just wasn't for me. I think I was just sort of like it was just too young. I feel like this was early 90s, right?
91.
91, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So to me, it was just, I was like, I don't care about getting married. Maybe if I watch it again now. So I would say B. I would even C+ is fine too, but B, it sounds like I would agree with.
I think it goes down
like
to
overall,
B.
like B.
Overall.
Yeah. I think B overall. So we'll put it there. So just to let you guys know, we're just gonna come back to me, and then we're gonna do a little Hail Mary round. We're just gonna just like shout out some S level. So we're gonna do Austin, then we're gonna do me to just kind of finish out that, and then we'll do the Hail Mary, and that'll be it. Right. So Austin,
we'll kind of explain the Hail Mary thing when we get to it in just a minute. We'll kind of explain real quick.
Yeah.
She was a virgin. She was the Virgin Mother of Christ, and sorry,
Yeah.
She put up with a lot of sawdust in her house because her husband was a carpenter, so she's a saint.
Yep. Right. But Austin, what do you got?
So I'm going to go with the Adam Sandler movie that I think all of America continues to go back to and continues to quote and talk about over and over again. And to give you a hint, today is Nudie Magazine Day. It's Nudie Magazine Day. So I'm going to go with Billy Madison.
Yes.
Because to me, this is the one that I go to over and over again because I think it's one of the most like, I understand you have to be kind of into the Sandler shtick, but at the same time, at 1995, it was pretty new. So like he hadn't done it 18 times in a row, you know what I mean? And it was one of the most unique comedies to this day that I think that's ever come out. Just some of the randomness of the movie, like it's got some of the like most off the wall, silly scenes and situations and hallucinations and all kinds of nonsense going on, and it's what makes it so much fun.
Me and Mr. Penguin.
I talk about this, like I've talked about this with friends, but like I chased this Billy Madison dragon, so to speak, for like a long time, trying to find a movie as creative and unique as that. And I think I kind of finally found it with Andy Samberg's movie Hot Rod, because it's on that same level for me, of just like being so weird and out there. But Billy Madison is like an S tier for me, and like I know just people who we can all quote it just like over and over again. It's so great.
Stop looking at me.
So yeah. Shampoo is better. Yeah, like I mean, like Billy Madison is S tier. So, anyways, I'll move on to Jordan, but yeah, Billy Madison is my Sandler jam for sure.
Oh, Veronica Vaughn, so hot. Want to touch the hiney.
Touch the hiney. No milk will ever be our milk, Jordan.
Yeah, right. Or peeing your pants is cool. Consider me Miles Davis. There's just like so many lines that are just so good. And then Chris Farley as the bus driver. Like this is hands down and probably like in my top 3 Adam Sandler movies. Like I remember when I was introduced to this, I just watched it on repeat. And I remember that I showed all my younger siblings the movie when they were way too young to see it. They were like 3, 4, and 5 years old. Like way too young to see a movie that has stuff like Nudie Magazine Day showing drunk chicks or like whatever, you know. So yeah,
he's got like old ladies. Like it's all the worst of like Pornhub is what he gets in the magazines. It's so great when you go back and watch it. It's like old ladies and like drunk people. Like it's nuts. That's what I mean. Just the randomness.
Steve Buscemi is like the weird guy that he calls to apologize and he puts on the lipstick or whatever. Just like random stuff.
Norm Macdonald is his buddy. Like it's so great.
Norm
Macdonald.
Norm.
There's like that Veronica Vaughn is one piece of ace. Me and her got it on. Woo! You know, there's just so many great lines.
No, we are on the bus.
Yep. So
Royal rules.
It sure does.
That's assault, brother. So like I say S tier all the way for this. Like it's one of my favorite Adam Sandler movies. And like what Austin said too, that like if you're not into all the Adam Sandler ism, just like the like ooh like shabadoo, doo-doo, like whatever, all that stuff. It's the first time that he really did all that really. So like it was a new thing. So yeah, for me, I say S, but we'll see what you guys think. Rachel.
I think that if we're going to put an Adam Sandler movie on S, for me, it's not Billy. It's going to be Happy.
See, Rachel, can I make a confession? I had to bounce between the two because I love Happy Gilmore as much as Billy Madison. So like, I don't know if we'll get both in there. Maybe if we have a consensus, maybe in the Hail Mary. Maybe.
Poorly.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I mean, I love this movie. It's really funny, but like for me, if you were gonna talk 90s Sandler, it's not this.
Well, then you vote for it in the next round, and I'll support you on S level right now.
I feel like this is a solid A, but I don't think it belongs in S.
Yeah.
Can they both be up there? I don't know.
No.
I don't know.
If Morris doesn't get to be up there, Billy doesn't get to be up there.
We'll see. Peggy, what do you think?
You're muted, babe.
You're muted.
Damn it! Did I?
There you go.
Okay.
There you go.
I'm the worst with the mute. Ask anybody. In my world, there's no way Billy Madison is ranked above Wedding Singer in regards to Adam Sandler movies. I would have been on board had you gone Happy Gilmore, but this maybe low B, high C.
Airheads.
Yes.
Airheads. No, God no.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
whoa! Who's starting wars up in here?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. All right.
Oh my God, that movie's so.
I mean, it's endlessly quotable, but it's not even my top 5 Adam Sandler movies. Maybe top 10.
All right. Well then, where would you rank it? Like what tier?
I'd probably go B, low B, high C.
B, all right. All right. Well, Kate, what do you think?
I mean, Adam Sandler named his. I always, because I'm so used to hearing about the production company.
Happy Madison.
Production company's Happy Madison, so I'm always like, oh yeah, Happy Madison's great. But I really do conflate the two movies, which I think is exactly. I mean, those are like his 2 hit, right? His 2 of his greatest hits.
Sure.
I really acknowledge everybody who feels it's an S. It was not personally an S for me, the way that Friday was not personally an S for me, but I understand why it was so many people, why there was a group of people that like that is an S for them. But if you're asking me to vote for me, I would say it's a B. And I would definitely have Happy Gilmore. I was going to almost said Happy Addison. I would have Happy Gilmore above this.
All right. Well, Malcolm, what do you think?
Out of all the 90s Adam Sandler movies, Billy Madison is one of my least favorites. I would watch Ace Ventura when Nature Calls more over Billy Madison. I'm putting Billy Madison.
Shots fired.
Yeah.
Wow.
As much as I fight for that one, I would pick Billy Madison over Ace Ventura.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm not going to die in the hill of it when nature calls, but or anything. So
I'm guessing it's a high B now.
So yeah, probably high B.
Well,
or
what would you,
or even low A?
What would you rank it? Would you put it in B?
D.
D.
Oh,
Whoa.
D. Okay.
Jesus.
Well, with that probably moves it to a high B, I'd say.
Yeah,
you know we're gonna get roasted
Malcolm
for
made
this
sure
in like
his
the comments,
accent
right?
Yeah, right.
We're gonna get roasted for this.
Yeah, Malcolm made sure that his accent was in check when he said D.
Yeah. Right.
Not A. D.
D. Gonna have a distinction.
Like,
So-
like I can just see it right now, Jordan. When you put up the poll, no Billy Madison. What the F?
Yeah, right.
Like,
I gotta tell you,
Yeah,
I mean,
I think
I'm
that
seeing
that
it
is
right
true.
now.
I think-
I'm sorry.
I think they're gonna say we ranked Billy Madison way too low, and I think if you had 6 other combination of people, that might have been an easy S. But this combination of people for sure.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but I can totally acknowledge that that's too low for the general consensus on the movie.
No,
But I will
I'm
say
just looking ahead to the comments. That's all. I know it's coming.
Yeah,
I know it's coming. Without the
my favorite
Billy
showdown
Madison.
entrance all time though is when Perry Nemiroff came in to the Billy Madison song with everyone singing "Do You Have Any More Gum" and like singing all that. The whole entire song was just so great, so good. So the second that I heard the music, I'm like, oh, I know exactly what that's from. Why are they playing Billy Madison? And I found out why. But so for me, I feel like I gotta have at least one of these movies on there. So I gotta go with Wayne's World 2. I slightly like Wayne's World 2 over Wayne's World 1, but it's a toss up. Like I think that they're kind of on an equal level, honestly. But like I just kind of I do like the whole like Wayne Stock thing, and like when he sees like a weird naked Indian and like Jim Morrison in a dream, and then just like I don't know, just all the kind of like kookiness with like him doing kung fu against Cassandra's dad and all that. It's just great to me. But like I feel like Wayne's World for me is an absolute S tier. Like I freaking love Wayne's World, and I think that it's the best kind of one of the best duo movies ever made. I mean, we obviously have Dumb and Dumber on the list here too, and Tommy Boy. So there's some arguments to be made there. But like I don't know if I would say high S though. Like I would kind of put it like as a low S. I'd maybe even put it like maybe just above. Like, well, actually, like I'd put it like a mid because like seeing what we have on there, I'd put it above Friday. That's kind of where I would overall like rank it, but that's just me. We'll see what you guys think. Rachel, what do you think?
I feel like for the second time, you guys have aimed and just missed the mark. Like, I feel like Wayne's World is definitely the superior to the sequel, and like legit, I don't think like I love Wayne's World 2. I think it's really funny and it's got some really cute twists, and you know they're planning a music festival, and that was my life for so long. So it's like it's really personal, but like there's just something special about the first Wayne's World. So I'm gonna have to vote this down. Honestly, like I think this is like a low A personally.
Favorite. Well,
it also feels like they're just trying too hard with like the Jim Morrison and Ghost and the Naked Indian. And I'm just like the first one was so perfect in every way that like, I don't know, it just didn't quite get there for me on the second time around, but it's still great.
And also you have Christopher Walken. Like, I just like that for me personally, but Peggy, what do you think?
As someone who lived in Aurora, Illinois for a few years, you picked the wrong Wayne's World.
All right. Fair enough.
Wayne's World 1, I would definitely easily A tier. This one, I gotta go B. Sorry.
All right. Well, Kate?
I don't disagree with either of the ladies. Wayne's World 2, I can't keep it an S for myself because if you said only one Wayne's World could be an S, it's Wayne's World 1 for me. I think the thing that's great though is I prefer this sequel over the Austin Powers sequel, not the Austin Powers.
Yeah.
The Austin Powers sequel. I think that this one did a better job of. This is, I think, a better sequel than the Austin Powers was to the first. Agreed. I just feel like it didn't like over push the characters. So I understand why you really liked it, but it's an A for me.
Well, Malcolm, what do you think?
Yeah, I've seen the first one. I actually don't remember if I've seen the second one. So I'm going to have to say
I think you remember the Naked Indian and Jim Morrison.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, then, Austin, what do you think?
I rewatched both of them this weekend because I hadn't seen them in ages, and they're perfectly good B movies. Like they're like really enjoyable while they're on. They're like really enjoyable while they're on, but like I don't go out of my way to put them on as much as like Billy Madison or Tommy Boy or like I just don't go out of my way to do that. I find myself gravitating and watching more online of like the actual SNL sketches more than this. So to me, they're like right on that B level. We kind of already talked about Wayne's World 2 on the other sequel show, so I won't talk about it too long because I kind of said the same thing there. But right on that B level.
So yeah, sounds like probably B overall is probably where it's going to end up. But kind of like I said though, like Wayne's World 1 and 2, they're just like right there for me. They're like almost just as good as the other one. So I mean, I could be fine having either one anywhere. But this brings us to the Hail Mary round. So how the Hail Mary round works is that we each take turns to just quickly each shoot for something for the S tier and to make your arguments quick. Just kind of like if you have some pretty quick to say.
Maybe shoot for something you think might get a fairly unanimous vote, or if you think you have a hunch that maybe something's in the S tier that we haven't mentioned yet. I mean, this is your chance to bring up something we haven't, or even the high A tier, because high A could get bumped up too. So anything high A or S, shoot your shot. Rachel,
I mean, I think we all just agreed unanimously that the Wayne's World the first Wayne's World deserves S tier. Like that is, I feel like.
I was gonna say Austin just said it was a B.
Yeah, they're both B's for me. I'm sorry, like I don't connect them.
We outruled them.
If I'm outranked on, what about it is what it is.
Everyone else? Would you agree for S tier? Because we could outrank them
for the first Wayne's World.
I would say S. I would say if one has to be an S, yeah, absolutely.
I mean,
I would go with A either. Or also.
Well, I think that it definitely gets maybe a low S, maybe a high A. We can kind of see where. I'm going to put it here just kind of tentatively. We'll see if there's anything. We got anything else? But Peggy, do you got any?
All right, from the movies that are left on the panel of options, if I'm going to go pound for pound, the one that makes me laugh the most, I got to go Robin Hood Men in Tights.
Yes.
Thank you. We have to have Mel Brooks on this.
I'd be okay with that.
List.
I mean, Dave Chappelle is that Chew.
Chew.
The Everlast Chastity Belt. And Richard Lewis.
And 90 and a high.
Yeah, Roger Reese is the sheriff of Rottingham. It's. I
have a mole.
Sir Patrick Stewart as the king. You know.
Yeah, it's good to be the
king.
Yeah.
And they declare all the toilets in the land should now be named John. It's classic,
It 100% deserves to be an S.
Unless anyone objects, I'm going to put it there. And if
C level, it's a mid-level parody at best. Naked Gun sequels are better. Hot Shots Part 2 is better.
No way.
Get out.
Not there.
No way.
C level.
Hot Shots is funny.
Sorry.
Hot Shots is good.
Hot Shots Part 2 is like.
Hot Shots Part 2 is actually better than Hot Shots, I think.
It's way better.
Yeah, same. Yeah, it's way better.
And it's better than Robin Hood.
I would agree. Well, then if we have that to say to it.
Wait your turn. You can pick it.
Yeah, right. You can. Well, but do we have enough people that would agree that it stayed there? Austin says no, but does everyone else say S?
Yeah.
I say S.
I say yes.
All right, then we'll leave it in S tier. You got outvoted. So we'll go to Kate. Do you have
There's something about Mary. I think there's something about Mary.
No.
It's not an S for me personally. I would say it's maybe more of an A, but I feel like it's definitely one of the movies from the 90s that people, I think Cameron Diaz, especially like with The Mask too, this movie is just like, it is a star vehicle for her. The hair, I mean, so something about Mary, I feel like belongs, I think it belongs up there somewhere.
May I just say,
Peggy?
I identified with this movie so hard in the 90s because I too have an older brother who's special needs and was big into football. And so I'm just like, this chick is me. Aside from like the 24-inch waistline, you know.
Also, her roommate Magda is just like so perfect. She's so funny. That old leathery like skin. It's just so creepy and wonderful. She wears a bright pink lipstick and carries around her dog everywhere. It's great.
Shout out Lynn Shay, who's also in.
I've been bombarded with that movie in hotel rooms the last 3 times I've stayed. It's always on cable. I don't know why, but I find it a slog. I don't think it holds up very well. Like I think it's got a couple of like really standout scenes, but it's a hard slog watch. I'm sorry, I don't think it holds up as well. It's like a low B, high C at best for me.
But it was so quintessential for the time that it came out. Like it was so iconic, and
but it also steals a joke from Mallrats that got cut out, like the little cum hair joke. Like that was in Mallrats.
I know.
And like there's something about Mary like ripped them off. Like I mean, it's a total ripoff.
Eating lots of sunflowers. I'm a Uncle Strange.
We also get Matt Dillon's crazy teeth, which is so great.
Yeah, right.
Chris Elliott is.
Well, I just rewatched it 2 days ago because I hadn't seen it in so long, and like I forgot how funny this movie actually is. Like I actually really enjoyed the movie. Like I thought that it was great. Like and like the special needs thing, I don't know if they really push it too far. I don't personally think so. I think that they kind of like have fun with him in the end and make him a cool character. But yeah, like I think that it's definitely at least A tier. I would say it might make the honorable mentions. I don't know, maybe. But Malcolm, what do you think?
Yeah, I'd say low A, high B. So
yeah. Do you have a last minute Hail Mary? Like anything else on the list kind of stand out to you?
Yeah. For me, my last minute Hail Mary is, and I will preface this with a quick quote: "The goddamn pen is blue."
Nice.
Yes.
Liar. Yes. This is the one Jim Carrey that I alluded to earlier that I said has to be an S tier. This is just. This is just endlessly. This is just endlessly funny and like just.
I do Jennifer Tilly pretty well.
You do.
Yeah, that is.
Poor Trotter. Poor Trotter.
That's a different movie. That's Let It Ride, but Jennifer Tilly.
But yeah, like it's just endlessly quotable and just for me, this is probably peak Jim Carrey in the 90s. But yeah.
I'm definitely good with it going up to S.
I'm okay with that.
I'd be fine with it.
Yeah.
I've watched it an endless amount of times.
I put it S or A, so I'm fine with it in S.
Yeah.
It's like boo, a goose.
It also gave us Ash Crossan doing the pullover monologue, and that's just perfect. I don't know if you guys have ever seen her do that, but she literally does like the. Well, it depends on how long you were following me. Like that whole bit, she does that to Gary, and he's like, "Oh my god, that's amazing!" Like you can't not love this movie. It's so good.
Right.
Wow, that's because you got big jugs. I mean, your boobs are huge.
I mean, I want to
squeeze them.
Mama.
I was about to tell some
Yep.
How's it hanging?
What?
To
the left, yeah.
Dude, I just even the parts where he sees what's her name, like the chickie, and he just goes, "Holy hell!" and just falls over.
Yeah, just falls
like,
over.
He sees her like right into the wall. He turns a corner. It's just like the greatest.
I'm kicking my ass. Do you mind?
Yeah.
Just line after line after line. He's just great.
I hold myself in contempt.
What makes you any different?
Yeah.
The outtakes at the end. Overactor.
Yeah, right.
You guys definitely feel strongly about S. We'll leave it there.
What do you think, Kate? Do you think
I think it's an A.
That's fair.
All right.
But I'm
Yeah.
happy to leave it an S. I just maybe
We'll leave
didn't
it at
see
the
it.
bottom of S for now and see. But Austin, do you have a Hail Mary?
Happy Gilmore.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That,
Yeah, I
yes.
feel
Happy
like that.
Gilmore. It's not
Where that
only
belongs.
one of Sandler's best. I think it's one of the best sports comedies, like maybe ever. It might be the best sports comedy ever. Like if we ever did a sports comedy like thing, I think it's better than Caddyshack, to be honest. Like I know that might be a hot take, but as far as golf, like if you have to rank the two golf comedies, I go back to Happy Gilmore way
Same.
more than Caddyshack. And like even though they're both
Same
quotable, like Carl Weathers is amazing in that movie. Like, it's so great. Dude, Shooter McGavin is one of the great comedy villains of all time. Like, he's just so much of a douche. Like, makes an ass out of himself. Like,
me.
He's so great. Like, he's amazing. So yeah, I think you just all the elements combined. Like, Happy Gilmore's in there.
You get to
And also
between him and Bob Barker. Like, of course, it's an S.
Yeah, you get the great fight of all time. Yeah, it's awesome.
Price is wrong.
Jackass.
Yeah.
I think we got
the
Billy
Jackass
Madison
montage.
wrong.
I mean, come on.
I'm
You will not
realizing,
suit this butt, you
when I look at where we're putting Happy Gilmore, I do think we got Billy Madison wrong. I think we need to bump Billy Madison up. Anyway, it's not up for discussion right now, but
I would agree. Like, I mean, it could make an honorable mention. I don't know, maybe.
We'll see.
But
I'd be happy with at least one of my two Adam Sandlers getting into the top 10 at least. And if Happy Gilmore is the one, then that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Happy Gilmore's in the right place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm looking. I think B is too low for Billy Madison.
Yeah, definitely at
Put it
least
up.
a low A.
At least A.
Let's go.
Yeah, there
Yeah,
you
at least
go.
an A.
But
Jordan, what do you got? Any last ones?
yeah, but I was gonna say, how many of you guys have actually tried the Happy Gilmore way of driving golf balls in real life? Because if you actually make contact, it actually works. It actually really legit works. If you make contact, but the thing is, you only make contact.
I can't say I haven't tried it at Top Golf, but I have tried it. Everybody's tried it at Top Golf.
The last time I was at any like driving center, like there are literal signs like framed on the wall that says "Do not do the Happy Gilmore swing, or you will get kicked out." Like every single one I've been to.
The rule is if you miss, you have to go fucking shit, boy. What the fuck yeah, you stupid piece of monkey.
I mean, much to my parents' dismay, I was trying it out at the country club that they belonged to for a long time.
Can I get? I'm morbidly curious about this one. Can I get people's and it may not even make it up there. What's everybody's opinion of The Big Lebowski? Because you either love it or you hate it.
Oh,
do y'all love it or hate it?
I'm not a huge fan.
It's an S for me. Big Lebowski's actually an F for me.
But
I know it's not an S for everybody.
One of those. Yeah, I'm not one of those. I know it's polarizing though. I'm not it. I don't get it.
For me, it's like a B.
I'm the one who doesn't fall into either category. I mean, I like it. I don't love it. I don't hate it.
I love the characters, but like the movie doesn't come together for me. Like it just doesn't work.
I'm super neutral about it. I just don't like. It's not one I ever find myself putting on, and if it is on, I like have to be in a very specific mood to sit down and watch it.
Jordan he was asking me about it, and I was like, we have to hit it on the list because I know there's some people that like there's literally a festival about it. It's like people consider it like
we're gonna
the
get
best
some
of the
flack
best.
for not having it on.
But like, yeah, I mean, I figured that too, but it is what it is. Yeah, it is what it is.
Bring it.
And the Cable Guy's not a comedy; it's a horror movie.
Yeah, it is.
It's a horror movie. I watched it yesterday. It's a horror movie.
Neither is Major Pain. I do not find that movie funny at all.
Major Pain's great.
Major Pain.
Oh yeah.
But you had to grow up with it. I mean,
Tubby.
Yeah, I did, and I still don't like it. Like there are so many other movies that he's in where he is amazing and hilarious.
All money, blank man.
But like this movie was kind of like it's not funny to yell at children like that. Like
I'm gonna get you a second.
Yeah, right. Well, for me, I'm looking at the list, and there's really only one movie that I could maybe make a case for us here, and we already kind of talked about it. I'd probably say Hot Shots Part 2 is like really the only one that I can think of that like might make it, or possibly an honorable mention. I like it more than Part 1. I just rewatched Part 1, and it's good, but really from Part 1, I only watch it for all the Lloyd Bridges scenes because I think he's absolutely hilarious in that movie. Like there's just so many awesome lines when he's like.
The Hot Shots movie made it hard for me to watch Rain Man because I just see the girlfriend in Hot Shots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I loved you in Wall Street.
Hot Shots was beloved by guys when I was growing up to the point where it was forced down your throat at every like birthday party you went to of theirs. Like they would constantly. It was almost like if you didn't like it, you would get bullied, and I just like have this resentment over it for just ruining like my 4th and 5th grade years. But like it's funny, but I don't ever really find myself being like, you know what I really want to watch right now is Hot Shots Part 2. Like
yeah.
Which one has which is it Hot Shots or Hot Shots Part 2 that has the Saddam Hussein parody in it?
Part 2.
Okay, then that's the one I think that's better.
Yeah. It's funny.
2 is way better than 1, but like
it's way better.
I would be fine with it being A or S. Yeah.
Can we all agree that Lloyd Bridges is just great at parody movies?
He's a genius.
Yes.
Yeah, he's a genius.
Period.
First one to die loses.
First one. Yeah. I got to be honest with you. I don't have a fucking clue what you're saying. It's just like, what?
Like the hell to get sniffing glue.
Yeah,
I mean, that's an airplane, but like he's so genius in that movie.
That was in the 90s. It would be in the S tier if it was.
Oh
90s.
no, yeah. Well, we may come back and do some other decades. Like we can come back and do 80s and 70s or 2000s. Like we can always come back because we're trying to start to do these decade things with like we're doing it with horror movies and we're gonna do it with like some sports movies. So like we may come back and do some more comedy decades and invite
Call
you
me
back
for all the rom-com episodes.
I mean, I will say this: the 2000s and the 2010. You are going to see so many more female-fronted comedy movies coming out because, like, honestly, like the late 2000s into the 2010s, like, was such a great surgence. Because, like, looking up, literally, the only females I see are like a nagging wife and the character who literally revocalizes what the computer says in her movie, like. Like that's what they do, and it's supposed to be funny. So like I'm so like this is a great list. I love all these movies, but like decades later, it's so great to see the diversity.
And then like
not just
Williams pretending to be a woman,
but like black fronted and like Hispanic and stuff like that. Like there are so many more options coming out later, and it's just great. But this great list, perfect.
Yeah.
Besides Clueless, that's really the only real big female one.
Well, there's something about Mary, but she was sort of funny in that, but she was mostly supposed to be the love interest.
It was funny things that happened to her, not her being funny. Like if you want a good Cameron Diaz movie comedy, go watch The Sweetest Thing. That is hilarious. Peggy's gonna come on my show next month. We're doing it. It's so good. They have a musical number about a cock being too big. It's so perfect.
I hate that musical number though.
I know, but it's so funny. But they did that in it. Like the fact that it just exists makes it amazing.
Yep. Yeah.
Yes, it is so good, and it's on Netflix now.
Nice.
So watch that.
But so now, like basically, all we want to do is we want to give it a definitive ranking to the top 10, and then have 3 honorable mentions because I'm going to put the poll online tomorrow and have all the community vote. So like what would you say
They'll be kind about it, I'm sure.
I'm sure everyone will agree with us and love us and not drag us across our schools. Oh shit.
Oh, we always
How
get
the fuck is Blake not there?
those comments, like why is Billy Madison not up there? Why is whatever up there? You know, it's like but
as long as it engages the community and they
it happens with every single one. It's like even stuff we didn't even have on the list to choose from. They'll be like, why isn't that on the thing or whatever? It is what it is. Yeah, y'all missed everything. It's what you do when you have these shows.
But would we be all in agreement that the Dumb and Dumber's number 1? I don't know.
Yes.
Probably overall.
Yeah.
I think Tommy Boy deserves to be in the top 3 or 4 for sure because it's Farley's best.
I would say Tommy Boy over Mrs. Doubtfire. I would say that's just me. I think
I'd be okay with that.
And then probably
I would
don't know, like maybe
I would put Galaxy Quest last just because only 4 of us have seen it.
True. That is a good point.
And I'm fine with that, like as long as it makes top 10. I think Friday is right above that personally, but like I'm sorry.
I agree with that too. I mean, Friday deserves to make it, but yeah, I think it's like 8
Friday's
or 9.
Fine where it's at. Leave it at 4.
I mean, okay, maybe Office Space after Galaxy Quest. Or before Galaxy Quest.
That's cool.
I think Office Space has had more of a cultural impact than Galaxy Quest.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So it's 9 instead of 10.
Yeah.
You could do that. Like I'm not a huge Mrs. Doubtfire fan. That's just me. I would move it lower. I'd put it like maybe like below Robin Hood Men in Tights. That's just me. But I don't know.
I think it's that.
Yes,
Yeah. I would put Happy Gilmore a little higher. Maybe take Men in Tights.
Happy Gilmore's above Robin Hood, man.
Yeah. Put
we can do that.
Men in Tights before Office
I'm totally fine with that.
I mean, I personally would have Robin Hood Men in Tights over Happy Gilmore any day.
Really?
I'd put Liar Liar over Men in Tights.
Why not me? Like
I do too.
Yeah, I would too.
Yeah.
Liar Liar's over Robin Hood. Yeah. I've watched it.
I think you're good right now. I think this is good.
I think this is a good list.
Yeah.
Was there any case to move Happy Gilmore above?
Y'all really think like Wayne's World is better than Office Space, like culturally, like and the impact that everybody is having on everybody? Like y'all really think that?
I think.
To be honest,
I would move up Office Space.
I think if you're talking to people who lived through the 90s, Wayne's World, this is the correct order.
Yeah.
I think if you're talking to people that exist in today, I do think more of them know Office Space and care about Office Space over Wayne's World. So how do you want us to look at this? Are we looking at it from what actually was objectively
is
more
it cultural impact or is it pound for pound laughs? What do we look like?
Yeah.
Well, sort of like
pound for pound, I think Office Space is funnier than Wayne's World, but
I think we're good.
I don't know.
I think we got it perfect.
But I'm okay with that. I mean, I'm glad I made it to the top 10.
Yeah, that's the thing is like if we're talking about what was big in the 90s, like if we're ranking 90s movies for what they did in the 90s, Wayne's World for me is definitely above.
I think so.
Yeah,
it's above.
But I think Office Space,
I would agree.
Like more people now would watch Office Space than Wayne's World and get a laugh out of it.
It has a cult classic like vein through it more so than Wayne's World does. But Wayne's World had such an impact in the 90s.
Maybe you should on Office Space, put it above Men in Tights?
I would.
Yeah.
We could do that, sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Now, if we had three honorable mentions, what would be? Because we always like to throw a little curveball for the voting. So like,
I think it's those first three.
I think Wedding Singer goes before Something About Mary, but those three pretty much stay the same.
I think Wedding Singer, My Cousin Vinny.
Yeah, I could see My Cousin Vinny or Billy Madison going in over Wedding Singer, but I think Mallrats and Something About Mary definitely stay in there.
Yeah.
I know not everybody is keen on Wedding Singer.
Well, I could switch out the Wedding Singer or Billy Madison. I'm honestly fine either way, but that'd be.
I think the Wedding Singer, just because it is like such a middle ground for people.
See, but I think you got two, but you got two kind of rom-coms right next to each other. But they're both rom-coms, Mary and Singer, and I think having two of them in there is like, I don't know.
No,
One or the other.
I like this list. I like these 13.
I'd put Vinny over Mary, but that's me.
Yeah,
I would be fine with it.
I'd put everything in there over Mary.
Okay, then let's do Vinny over Mary.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Let's do that because, I just watched it and I thought it was great. So I'd be totally happy with that.
I mean, her biological clock is ticking, so we need to get her in there.
Yep. True.
It's called disclosure, you dickhead.
Yeah, so I think that's a good list. So usually we'll just have Austin as the co-host, just kind of break it down for us. So you want to break down our list?
All right, so number 1, we've got the Farrelly brothers with the all-time classic Dumb and Dumber. Number 2, we've got Chris Farley and David Spade and Tommy Boy. Number 3, the late, great Robin Williams in Mrs. Doubtfire. Number 4, the brilliant urban comedy of Friday. Number 5, we've got the SNL film Wayne's World. Number 6, we've got Adam Sandler's sports classic Happy Gilmore. Number 7, we've got Liar Liar with Jim Carrey. Number 8, we've got the cult classic of Office Space. Number 9, we've got Mel Brooks' Robin Hood Men in Tights. Number 10, the sci-fi comedy classic Galaxy Quest. And add our honorable mentions, we've got Kevin Smith's Mallrats, we've got The Wedding Singer, and Joe Pesci in My Cousin Vinny.
I like it.
Yeah, right. Perfect.
Yeah.
I think that's
great
good.
Work,
that's
guys.
solid. Yeah. So that was a lot of fun though. I'm ranking some 90s comedies because 90s comedies are my jam over any decade. That's when I grew up. That's probably where I've seen the most comedies for sure. So yeah, I definitely had a lot of
You know
fun.
what's funny, you guys, about the comments we get and stuff is like people will comment and like not see it in the polls, but they didn't watch the show and realize that we put a lot of these in like A tiers or like gave them a lot of love like on the show. They'll be like, how could you guys not love Billy Madison or Heavyweights or whatever? But like watch the show, like we gave it tons of love and like it's just we can only fit so many movies in this thing, but they just see the list and they go like, how dare you, like whatever. And it's like, go watch the show. Usually we mentioned whatever movie you're talking about and the reasons why. So like that's why you have to watch the show.
I definitely get that with Rankum too. Whenever I put the poll up, it's like there's definitely people that comment who's like, hey, we did mention that on the show.
Yeah,
right.
Like we talked about it. Like if you go watch it, we talked about it for 10 minutes. Like why it goes where it goes.
Yeah, but
anyways,
really we only had like one a movie that like we all considered kind of bad, not very good, was a Nutty Professor. So I mean that was pretty good. And most of them were like pretty.
Wait, scroll down. Like,
was
there any other like we would agree that's like not great? Like I'm trying to look at the list. Like I don't know.
Major Pain. Beverly Hills Ninja is so bad it's funny.
See, Jordan loves Beverly Hills Ninja. I think it's
like that's a personal one for me. Like it just makes me laugh.
That it is not a good movie.
Well,
I can object. No, I could say that too, but I recognize. But it makes me giggle. You know what I mean? Like it's one of those silly.
Yeah, like I can
silly things.
It's a bad movie, but it makes
like
me
Tommy Boy's a better movie, but like you can enjoy like whatever. You know what I mean? Like that's one of those things. And
I probably would
I'm
be
not a huge
alone
fan of the South Park movie as a musical.
Yeah, I don't love the South Park movie as much as everybody does because it's a musical. I think it kills it. I think What About Bob is like one of Bill Murray's better movies of the 90s.
Yeah,
like,
right.
It's really super underrated.
I would have put Groundhog Day on
almost nominated it.
movies.
Airheads. I don't care what you say, Austin. Airheads makes me laugh so hard every time I watch it.
To be fair, I haven't gone back and watched it all the way through since like 2000 or something, like 20 years. You know what I mean? So I haven't gone back
as
to
like
see.
the security officer in that movie. Oh, it's still good.
The cast is amazing. I'll give you that.
Yeah. Multiplicity was not even an option.
No.
You know what I was delighted wasn't on here? Shallow Hal. Oh no, wait. Is that 90s?
That's 2000.
Oh, that's 2000. Okay. I'm glad
just
it wasn't here. I'm glad it wasn't here. That not
probably
like
won't
that
even
one.
make it. Like I would imagine for even.
You know what's funny is like The Naked Gun just misses the cut at like 89. You know what I mean? Uncle Buck was 89, like just misses like the 90s. There's some like really good ones that are like right on that edge.
Yeah.
That we would talk about if we did 80s.
Some of these movies that I had a chance to rewatch that I forgot how good they actually are. Like I watched Loaded Weapon for the first time. That's an awesome parody of like all the Lethal Weapon movies. That's like it's solid. Like it actually holds up. I wanted to almost like make an argument for it, but I don't think anyone really like
it's a lesser known movie. It's only had like a DVD release. Like it's really weird. It's just like it's been forgotten through history or something. It's very. I
want to give it a little bit of love. If you haven't seen it, you should check it out because like I miss the days of like great parody movies. We don't have that anymore. Like I mean, we need to have a great parody movie sometime.
Well, to be fair, our life has been one giant parody movie this last like 5 years. So
right.
I think we're good with parody for the time.
right.
Mm-hmm.
I think
that'll do it though. I think
2020 was a good parody movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, I thought it was just a straight up horror. So again, everything is objective.
I thought it was a prison movie. That's what I thought.
Right.
It was just one long season of Oz that never ended.
It was Prison Break without the break.
Yep. Without the break. But before we hit the 3-hour mark, I'll just kind of wrap things up here before we go too crazy long. But I'll just kind of go around the room, and you, if you have anything you want to promote or let us know where we can find you. I'll just start with Kate. Where can we find you?
Well, you can find me with these lovely ladies on The Den. If you are not tuning into Schmodown, make sure you do. The Schmodown.
Yeah, watch the Schmodown.
See me in the Schmodown.
Yeah, and Peggy, where can we find you?
You can obviously find me in the Schmodown, but you can find me at Peggy B Ball across all social media platforms that I participate in, and over on one of the family pages called Featured Presentation Productions. I host a show every Wednesday called Fantasy Film Fights, where we just take a random movie topic and we draft it fantasy style, not too dissimilar to what you guys were doing tonight. This upcoming Wednesday, we are in honor of the 30th anniversary of Thelma and Louise. We are drafting movies that star either Susan Sarandon or Gina Davis. So it'll be a fun one. So if you're not a member of the Facebook page, to go over there, and if you ever want to be on the panel for a show, just let me know. There's a sign up sheet every month. So.
Hey.
Awesome, yeah.
Oh.
Well, I caught it a few times. It's a fun watch, yeah.
Yeah.
And Rachel, where can we find you?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram right here at RM Silvestrini. You can also find me on my YouTube page every Thursday hosting Movies, Music, and Mayhem. This week I have Adam Collins coming on. It's a little bit earlier show than normal, but he's going to be on at 5:30 or 6.
You traitor.
Nice.
I'm a spy.
Oh, good. Okay.
Let me know when you're done.
Nice.
So yeah, so he's going to be on. I'm super excited. Keep an eye on the PJ Campbell Network because I don't know when, but we will be doing another episode of Show Me Naughty, where Sean has taken upon himself to be my Yenta and find me love in the most ridiculous way possible. It is the best. If you haven't seen episode 1, please go back and watch it. It was literally on my birthday, and it was the best birthday present anyone has ever given me. And then, hopefully you'll be able to see me very soon in the Schmodown.
Oh,
awesome. Sounds good.
Speaking of Adam Collins, over on Matt No Show Settled the Score, not this week, but the upcoming week, I get to go against him mano a mano. And we have to try to predict movie songs and movie scores that are being played by piano. So it'll be a fun one.
Nice. Yeah, we're actually going to have Adam Collins on the show in about a month to talk 80s horror. So that should be cool, too.
That's right up his alley.
Yeah. Well, then, Malcolm, where can we find you?
You can find me over at Tape Free Productions, where I host Rankum. I was about to speak my own show, which is bad. And this week's episode is going to be Top 12 Movies Directed by Actors.
Okay.
And you can also find me over Full Metal Trivia, where I host Full Metal Classic and Full Metal Random, and this week is going to be Brooklyn Nine-Nine Trivia.
Oh, better draft defending your life. Sorry.
Nice.
You can also find them just straight up in New Zealand.
Yeah, right.
Pretty good.
What time is it there right now, Malcolm?
Yeah, what time is it?
It is just 10 past 4 in the afternoon on Tuesday.
So weird.
Yeah.
Oh my God, how's Tuesday? Tell us. You're in the future.
Yeah.
It's sunny.
Funny.
Crazy.
Did COVID end yet?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it ended in New Zealand.
It ended in New Zealand a long time ago. God bless y'all.
Yeah, New Zealand's killing it when it comes to COVID.
Fuck the rest of the world.
Yeah.
Maybe check that phrasing. Just
Yeah, right. They're doing great over there. But Austin, where can we find you?
Yeah, Movie Hero Pez on Twitter, and we have another show that Jordan and I do called Live from Movie Hero, where we talk classic SNL episodes that we're a little behind on right now, but we're tentatively planning on filming this Wednesday and finally getting around to it. So we're going to be talking about episodes with Bronson Pinchot and Dwayne The Rock Johnson. So that should be a lot of fun.
We are so happy we do the dance of joy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good time to Sydney.
Perfect strangers.
So,
thank you. Good. I don't feel so old.
Yes.
Right.
On the
It was literally the episode we watched is 86.
Theme song for
right
a
after
TV show
Strangers.
ever.
There you go.
Ever.
Yep. Yeah, and for me, so I want to give a little shout out. So today's video Drew's birthday. So like I know she's totally not watching because she's got her own stream. But I want to say happy birthday video Drew. And I caught all you guys on her birthday stream yesterday. That was like so much fun to watch that. And one of the reasons why I wanted to give her a little shout out, she was the first person in the Schwinnock community that I ever had on the show. And like when she finally said yes to me, I literally like freaked out. Like I thought I was gonna cry that I actually got someone that like felt like a minor celebrity like coming onto my show. So like that really meant a lot to me. And like ever since then it just kind of has encouraged me to just reach out to all you guys from the Schwinnock. And like all you guys have been super down to earth, super nice, super fun. I always kind of just think of you guys as like these kind of like celebrities you've been given this platform to just be on the Schmodown and stuff, but it's kind of like I mean, you're just normal people, just down to earth like the rest of us. So I mean, and you love talking movies, so it's always fun to have you guys on. So I appreciate all you guys coming on. It really means a lot to me. So, and
Jordan, you're a real sweetheart. You've put us in the S tier, and we're really with Nutty Professor in the D. You know what I'm saying?
We're all in the S tier.
You're all in the S tier.
I mean, I want to go that low, Kate. Maybe.
And especially the Den for sure. Gotta give a shout out. Yep.
We might honestly even be not a comedy. Honest to God, I just don't know how to rank us. But you definitely overranked us in the S tier, Jordan.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, and so you can find us on our upcoming podcast. We're starting a podcast that starts in about a week and a half. That's going to be called Podcast League Now. So if anyone's ever seen that old school Nickelodeon show Action League Now, it's a little bit of a parody of those little action figures that they had moving around back in the 90s. And you can find me. So I run the Facebook group Schmodown Friends and Family. So that's where the poll for the show after every episode, I always put the poll up. So if you want to vote, you can go over to Schmodown Friends and Family and you can vote for what you think is the best 90s comedy, and let us know if you got it right or if we got it horribly wrong.
And tell us how stupid we are in the comments for missing your favorite movie.
No, keep it to yourself. Form your own list. I don't care.
It doesn't matter what we say. It happens every single time. It really doesn't matter.
Also, it doesn't matter what they say. That's the real point.
That's true.
Yeah, right.
Mm-hmm.
It just matters what
sounds not playing in my head.
What you think, like each individually. But there's been a great time. So for Kate, for Peggy, for Rachel, for Malcolm, for Austin, and I've been Jordan, the movie hero Anderson, and we will see you next time.